Here is what the Tape Never Lies Network means to me. Now, there's a lot of sites out there, a lot of fan sites and all that stuff, but there are few, if any, that matches the knowledge, the wisdom, and the charisma of the Tape Never Lies Network. It is what I rely upon each and every week to find out what's going on with our Chicago Bears. Listen, I like the Sick podcast. It's fine. Its host is okay. But for me, the money site is the Tape Never Lies Network. Watch it.
The following show is for mature audiences only.
So all along, I felt like with Fields, he's a guy who makes the difficult things look easy and sometimes makes the easy things look difficult. And I will always take the guy who can do the things that seem hard really well. And like we can figure out how to make the easy things easier for him. Like, I feel like this is a quarterback that still needs to grow, right? Still, but he's on that path, and he shows you the type of amazing, impossible things that not very many quarterbacks can do. And where he struggles sometimes is, some of the easier things that most quarterbacks can do, quick underneath routes and stuff that I feel like you can keep working on. If you give him an offensive line, you give him receivers like that, this is where it's an easier area of his game to develop as opposed to like trying to get a regular style of quarterback to be able to do some of the things that Justin does. So I'm left feeling like it's worth every penny to invest everything you can to get as much out of this guy, to see how much you can really maximize those special things. And maybe you get a Cam Newton style of player who's a great downfield thrower who can use his legs and be a dynamic player that way, and maybe a Jalen Hurts type as well in there. And if not, you've got great resources in draft picks now from trading down from one that if you need to get another quarterback, you certainly have the draft picks to be able to trade up and get some. But I'm not going in with that as the plan. I'm going in with that as the insurance that I just bought myself with those future draft picks. And with those picks, I can continue to build around Fields, assuming he develops and plays well as expected.
Exactly. Let me ask you guys both this, because I had this conversation a little bit earlier today, and I think a lot of fans fall into the trap of thinking that everybody on the Bears offensive line is abysmal and there's no upside there. And I think that is very incorrect way to look at it. Everybody knows Sam Mustipher and that issue, and obviously the Bears not tendering him an offer. He's an unrestricted free agent, but with him being as bad as he was, you bring in competency. Even Cody Whitehair, let's say, just going from abysmal to competent is a pretty big improvement. That center position, it's a direct lane to the quarterback. Just improving that one position, how integral is it for your guards and your tackles, just having competency there to make the overall product look a lot better than it does?
I was skeptical of Chris Morgan coming in. He didn't come to me as like a guy with a great track record of developing players. And that's kind of one of the main ways I look for coaching competence. Like, obviously the product on the field is a part of that, but like where have they found guys and made them better over time? And so it's like I was looking for more of that development this year. Like Braxton Jones, I don't know how much better. He got a little better, but he didn't like drastically improve. Like, he came in and was competent enough at the beginning and was kind of, but like that kind of seemed like that's who he was coming in. Like, he didn't get exactly better. Like, he was just a good player for a 5th round pick. And like, we knew Tevin Jenkins had all the talent in the world. He wasn't squeezing any more out of him. Larry Borum did not get any better. Alex Leatherwood did not get any better. Like, and we barely got to see any of the rookies in there. So if guys aren't getting better and you're not seeing good protection calls from the center, who admittedly was the backup plan, like it was supposed to be Lucas Patrick all season. He was kind of the starter for a while there in training camp and stuff, and then it gets hurt right away. So like I'll give him a slight don't want to say a pass, but I'll give him a slight caveat on that it wasn't plan A was not Sam Mustipher at center all season, and they kind of had to revert back to that against their first choice. But still, like, there just wasn't anything that you're like, okay, offensive line coach is doing a great job here. Like, I can't blame all the problems on him, but I can't find a really good positive to say, yep, here's where Chris Morgan is really making a strong positive impact on this team. Yeah, I find myself feeling similarly that no doubt, like, the player that you see on tape when he's best, like, is absolutely a top 5, top 3, maybe top 1 player in this draft.
Yep.
When we were down at the Senior Bowl, I was talking to a guy who covers Georgia, and he said that there were times last season where, like, Kirby Smart and the Georgia coaching staff was frustrated with him at practice. Like, like, not even the game effort, but just like being able to be that guy they want him to be at practice. And if he's a guy who needs that motivation, like, does he love football or does he love being a football player? That's the opposite of what Ryan Poles talks about prioritizing, right? We want guys who love football, who just want to be here, work hard, and have fun. And, like, that does not seem to describe Jalen Carter from everything that we're hearing, even separate from just, like, speeding, joyriding, legal stuff off the field. Like, even just on the field, like, is he the football player that the Bears seem to target? I don't think he fits the human being behind the helmet that they like.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Chicago's trading up.
100.
Yes! What? Here it is! Or just recorded.
The tape never lies.
Other people drop off, but we still keep rocking.
You'll never know how good your football team's going to be until you play with maximum effort. Keeping it 100.
An open competition. Take over the North and never give it back.
Smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east to west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now them out stumped like the Jew and now and later. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks scrolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. What we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies. The truth, you see, we laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Trick Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Justin Fields gets outside the pocket, puts that ball perfectly where only Mooney can get it. 1 point, 2 feet.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Never lies. Yeah, exactly.
Yo, what is up, everybody? I'm Ivan Vargas, and you're watching The Tape Never Lies, Keeping It 100, the best Bears show on the planet. Coming to you on a special night with a special guest, former Chicago Bears running back Raymont Harris joins the crew. And speaking of crew, let's go ahead and bring him in. Shayne, the smartest man, Marsal, and DDP, Draft Dr. Phil. What is up, gentlemen?
Bring them out. Bring them out. Bring them out. Bring them out.
We just traded Claudio to the Damascus car bombs of the Afghan League.
Claudio had his
For a
best
player to be
moment
named,
last week, and then
I know.
goes
And then
on injured reserve.
Ivan one up them again. So
Great job, Ivan, coming right out the gate. Set him straight.
Feels
out the
weird to
gate.
be here on a
Monday
Monday
night.
night.
I know.
Keeping it 100, right?
I think a lot of people who don't pay attention are gonna be like, "Where's that Wednesday night show?"
Yeah.
If you're
Oh,
not a
they'll-
patron, we'll be live Wednesday night.
Like this guy right here,
on
Bullets. Bullets will be in the chat room Wednesday night. Where the fuck is everybody? Ain't you guys here? Bears signed Tremaine Edmonds.
Smash the like button. Do us a favor. We don't say it enough. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've been stuck at this level right there, Shayne.
Well, we went over 13,500 the other day, so that was nice to see. But yeah,
So yeah, we got to get.
get out there
If
and
you're not
subscribe.
subscribed yet, I don't understand it. Get over there, subscribe to the channel. Get over there, buy some swag, and represent TTNL. The tape never lies. The OGs, the ones that originated the tape. I see other people putting the tape doesn't lie now, Shayne.
Tape don't lie.
Film,
There's
film
one-
don't lie.
Film
Tape
don't lie.
don't lie. Like, come on, bro. Biting shit.
I saw the
Left and
tape
right.
lies sometimes. Website the other day.
Hold on. I'm going to put together a field of 64 Bears reporters and break them down. Who's got the most popularity? Fuck out of here. Oh, my God.
You don't want that list. Greg will be going up to whoever's number one on the list. Say, let's take a picture. Put it on Twitter.
Oh, my God. When you showed me that, I'm like, what world are we in? What world are we in? The reality of the truth, I think everybody knows. I'm just hearing about that stuff, but I got to keep it 100. Got to keep it 100, keep it a buck with Brandon Livingston. I'm a competitive motherfucker. Bring anybody on this show. Bring anybody on this show. I fight with Shayne. Imagine me arguing and debating stats. I've seen some of these people that flip-flop and have a whole network pining for votes to try to create popularity. It's like, God, let the fans understand. I will every time. Look at this dude, Jamar Taylor. What up, kid?
What's up,
Big
Jamar?
fan of the show. He's finally catching it live, bro.
Didn't he used to be a
Deserve
corner
it.
for the Dolphins? Jamar
Jeez,
Taylor.
We can use Jamar Taylor in Chicago.
Yeah. Let's go, Jamar.
Anybody named Jamar, I always pick them on my team. It was like a blind. I'm like, I'll take Jamar out of a fucking paper hat. Give me Jamar. And it worked out great in basketball leagues, Shayne.
Right,
Now I
there you
couldn't
go.
hit a fucking shot at the pro basketball. Hall
They were
of
hoping
Fame
they were
team.
hoping not to be picked by you. They're like,
Yeah.
fuck,
Fuck, not short
son of a bitch.
God damn it.
Now we got to carry him.
Fucking 5'2" captain out here.
I went for like 0 for 20 with Shayne and his son on the court. I'm like, all right, I give up.
Yeah, we're at the Hall of Fame, and Phil's down there. And I said to Riley, I'm like, you think he's ever going to hit one?
Listen, I was rusty, man. Those
Yeah.
two.
It was when we did the height comparison. I'll have to post it on Patreon. I made Phil stand next to Muggsy Bogues, so we could
Yes,
get the
I
get the
towered
height.
over Bogue, and I towered over our next guest's equipment manager. So
T-Med. Yeah,
Tony
T-Med.
Medlin, I must have had 7 inches on him. I know I'm short, right?
Let's get to it,
Listen,
though.
let's get to it. I'm excited. I see our special guest in the green room sipping on the champagne and the the shrimp, the layout that we gave him over there. I'm excited about getting this guy on the show, but I'm gonna wait for him because I don't want him to miss his intro, Shayne.
Right. I watched it in the green room. He's
putting
the eye black on.
He's getting the eye black on.
He's getting ready.
He's getting the eye black. You know, I talked to his former teammate today.
Yeah.
Former Bears quarterback Eric Kramer and I were talking today. And I'll tell our guest Raymont Harris, if you're just tuning in to the Tape Never Lies Network, we got a special guest coming on the show right now. And we're going to introduce him in our special way, the way he deserves. Some people called him the Ultraback. Others called him the Quiet Storm. I call him Game Ready on Sundays. I love this dude. Let's bring him out the TTNL way. Cue it up. Here he is, Raymont Harris.
As we move along in this NFL offseason, we're going to take a look back into Bears history with our next guest. Born in the small town of Lorain, Ohio, this guy stepped onto the big stage at the Ohio State University, where he set a school record for the most rushing yards in a bowl game and finished as the 6th leading rusher in Buckeye history. From there, he became the 114th pick in the 1994 NFL Draft by your Chicago Bears. As decorated as he was on the field, he has been just as impressive off of it. Currently, he is the CEO of a coaching and executive consulting company he owns called Elite Mindset and Performance, and is a professional and keynote speaker. Bears fans, TTNL fans, get up out your seats and give it up for the Ultraback,
the Quiet Storm.
He's Raymont Harris.
There he is.
Yo, that's the most involved intro I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's what we tell it.
It was dope. I appreciate that.
That's what we tell everybody. You got to hook that up to your Alexa, so every time you come out to speak, that drops.
You know what? I love that. That was great. You guys got must have some young guys over there doing all kinds of IT.
No, just me and Shayne.
Yeah, we're the old guys doing the young guy work, Raymont.
Phil, what's up, man? Good to see you. Shayne, what's up?
Great to see you. Great to see you. I was a huge fan of you, and that's where I really want to start this off. And it's not blowing smoke. It's a special memory for me. Lemuel Stinson, I had a special memory with him. And as a Bears fan growing up in Connecticut, I think we vividly remember things a little bit differently than maybe we just don't take it for granted, especially being a coach's son. I remember the Holiday Bowl, and I'm sitting in our old house with my father watching Ohio State versus BYU. And here's this running back, which I was in high school as a running back, just given everything he literally had in that game. And I was like, who the F is this?
Yeah.
And my father's like, this kid is going to be a stud. And lo and behold, because I watched every name drop off that on the NFL draft, and the Bears guy, I think he ran for like 256 yards, came down to the final play. I mean, they were on the goal line throwing fades, and the defense held up. Thankfully, because you put in work that day. But then for you to become a Bear, it was like, wow, we're getting this dude, another running back in a place traditionally that just has had some great running backs. And do you remember the day you were drafted?
Oh, absolutely, man. It's one of the days that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Just like me and everybody else, man. As a little kid, I had huge dreams and aspirations of playing in the NFL. So to finally be face to face with that opportunity, leading up to it, people were saying I was going to go in the second round, maybe the third round. So, back in those days, that was still like the second day when, so you had to sit through like the first 2 rounds. Your name doesn't get called. Your buddies are laughing at you. And some of those guys have already been picked and they're out like flying to their teams already. So I finally, they finally called, the Bears did a little later than I wanted it to be. I want to say there were I think there were 20 maybe like 15 running backs like in front of me. It was crazy. And, but it's amazing, man. Like as soon as I got that phone call, all of that stuff went, none of that mattered to me anymore. At that immediate time, I was like, oh, I'm about to actually go to my childhood, favorite team, Chicago Bears.
Wow.
Man. Yeah, it's really crazy.
I never knew that.
Yeah, man. So what's wild is like my mother, my maternal side of my family lived in Chicago and actually in North Chicago up in Waukegan as well. So I would come to Chicago during some of the summers, and I was a Cubs fan because that was the North Side. I was a Bears fan, of course, and man, I was very familiar with Chicago.
Oh, excellent. Did you have much interaction with the Bears leading up, during the draft process? Did you think that was potentially a team, or just kind of came out of nowhere?
Yeah, it felt like it came out of nowhere. They, when you go through that process, you go to the combines, you end up like meeting with all the teams. So I had a little bit of a conversation with those guys, but there were probably 5 or 6 other teams that showed a lot more interest in me. So when that came around, now to be honest, I never thought that I would go through the entire draft, all these rounds, like 4 times in a row without anybody like, yeah, let me go ahead and scoop this guy up. So when that actually happened, I was just so happy and fired up and excited to go anywhere.
Now, when you come to the Chicago Bears, did they give you an option of what jersey number? Because you obviously wore 34 in college. Walter is wearing 34. Did Team Med give you options back then, or just throw you the jersey? This is what you're wearing.
Yeah, no, they gave me an option. And I was like, yeah, I obviously need to have 34 again, of course, obviously. So you guys know,
who's that guy, right?
This guy named Sweetness, but hey, I'm sweeter. I'm sack. So needless to say, that didn't work out. But they threw the 29 toward me. I'm like, oh yeah, and I remember Dennis Gentry, like back in the days.
Dennis Gentry, yep.
I'm like, this 29, yeah, this could work right here. So I was pretty fired up and pretty excited about that. In that whole world, man, like the jersey number, like that's so important, man. It's everything.
Oh, totally agree.
Oh my God.
I couldn't be out there running around as a running back with like number 45 or something like that, man.
Right. That's 37 or something.
One of the worst numbers. 45.
Yeah.
The
like
late
Brad
great
Brad Mustard.
Yeah,
25.
Mustard,
He was 25.
He was a 25. Ironhead.
He was 20.
Yep.
Ironhead wore 45.
Yeah.
Totally the worst. 39. I'm not a fan of 39 either.
I'm not feeling that.
I don't know why. 39.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Raymont, year 2, so they bring you in at pick 114, but then year 2, the 95 draft, they go out and bring in the Heisman Trophy winner, Rashaan Salaam. Yeah. And how does that, when you're, I don't know if you watch the draft, I assume guys are kind of seeing if they're bringing in some talent at the same position, but you see that first round draft pick. I mean, Rashaan was super young too, 20 years old coming in, Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah. When you see that happen, is that just instantly motivate you to get to camp and show the young pup that you're not going anywhere? How did that work?
Yeah. Well, even though like we were only like a year apart in terms of like, draft wise, I mean, I was significantly older, so I pretty much had like a big brother kind of like relationship with Rashawn. Yeah, man, it was pretty. I wasn't surprised because the year before the Bears actually went out, spent big money to get free agent running back Lewis Tillman. So they brought Lewis Tillman. Remember?
Oh yeah,
I remember from the Giants.
Yeah,
and he went to Jackson State, so there was this Walter Paint narrative going on, and he was not good at all. At no instincts with the hole. I'm like, what are we doing here? I just remember being a young back in high school saying, because they're playing in our backyard. I go, we got Raymont. What are we doing here? And
I appreciate that. Man.
No, that's the true story. Back numbers, I'll never forget. Number 27, he wore.
That's right.
There you go,
yeah.
Mike Henneman. And
what's wild is like, hey man, Lou's my guy. I love this guy. He was a mentor. Yeah. He was my big brother, and so when they brought me to the team, I actually went to they moved me to fullback.
Yeah,
which
I know.
Which I was I actually embraced the move. They tried this at Ohio State like my third year, and I did not like that, and it truly didn't go well. But so fortunately, I was able to get my way back to running back and made things happen. So when the Bears drafted me and wanted me to go to fullback, I was like, sure, I'll try it. And what happened was, man, I actually learned how to run block and pass block, and my pass receiving was, became crazy. And then all of a sudden, man, I became like this running back that could do all these different things. And I really started to carve out my identity. So I was so much better being like this ultraback guy versus, just like a running back. So when they drafted Salaam, man, it didn't matter to me at all. I liked the idea of having like another dude that was explosive, roughly like the same size as me, and we could just be like a great 1-2 punch. So it didn't motivate me more to get, to do any better, because to be honest, I truly thought I was the best out there anyway.
Who comes to you and says, hey, we're going to move you to fullback? Is that the GM? Was it the coach at the time? Who's the one who is that a draft day conversation so you knew what you were stepping into, or is this more so happening on the fly?
I mean, that was like 30 years ago, so I had no idea. I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. Hey, which guy told you that? Yeah, I don't know. What guy told me that?
We could just blame Wannstedt. That's fine, man. We can just blame Wannstedt.
I could have made up anything.
Listen, Zorich will tell you.
Facility and told
fucking Wani screwed over a lot of people. Every former player comes on here talk. Dante Jones was talking about Wani. Yeah. He doesn't even want. Dante was the most. Well, I'd say Chris and Dante are the most implicit talk about Dave Wannstedt. So I ask you, was your relationship with Wannstedt better, or was there moments? Because let's be honest, my dad was a high school head coach for 33 years. Right. They named the stadium after him. I've coached, been a head coach. That relationship with coach, head coach, or position coach and player, no matter what, is so important. When you get to the NFL, there's a lot of shoe salesmen that are coaches. Let's be honest. And fans, they know everything. No, they don't. They don't know their ass from their elbow, a lot of these guys. You know more than them. So you could tell when a bullshitter's bullshitting. Was that your experience there, like with the Bears, or with Wani? No?
Yeah, he was real talk, man. I thought Dave was a really like a nice guy. He was a defensive-minded head coach. So the majority of his time would be spent on the defense. So when it came to the offense, you tended, like we as the players, you tended like have a much deeper connection with your position coach and the coordinators. So like it was kind of like, and that's pretty much been like way it's been wherever I've been. Whenever head coach. So, I mean, Wani wasn't bad to me, man. I liked him. I thought he was a good guy. I thought his mustache was a little outdated. Like he was like off a bad episode of Chips. Yeah. But besides that, he was a good dude, man. I didn't have the same kind of issue with fire. It's interesting that Chris Zorich would be, would not like him as much, given the fact that, he was a defensive guy and Chris was pretty much, he was, the favorite son of Chicago. So
well, I think
that
Chris does a show here on our network every week during the college football season, and he'll tell you. I think a lot of it came down to finances with Ted Phillips and Dave Wannstedt when they made that deal for Rick Meyer. They said, "Well, he was at Notre Dame. He's your buddy, so we're gonna need you to take some less money so we can go get your boy." So I guess that would piss anybody off.
Yeah, that didn't turn. Needless to say, that didn't turn out well.
Right.
No,
not one of the best moves.
Not a good move and not a good way to treat the city's favorite son. He went to Notre Dame. You went to Notre Dame. Let's take a pay cut so we can add him on.
Seattle took Walter Jones with that pick that Chicago gave him for Rick Meyer.
Oh, of course. Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Perennial All-Pro every single year.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. I would have loved to have had that guy on my team.
I guess. Wouldn't that have been nice?
Imagine we haven't had a left tackle like that since Jimbo Covert. Oh, my God. Really? The Bears. Yeah. Yes.
Andy
Think about it.
Andy was solid. He was
solid, but he wasn't
I didn't play with Jimbo Covert, so I don't know that shit.
Andy Heck was very good.
Y'all young dudes, I ain't that damn old.
Yeah.
Jimbo Covert.
You look great. You look like you could suit up today. Shayne was trying to poach you as a 3-tech.
No, I wasn't. You got to tell him. I didn't say that, Raymont. I said I was looking back at some of the. I'm the crazy ass guy that I have like every Bears game on DVD, like for years and years and years. And you go back and you watch some of these, and I had to get you had I think it was like a 68-yard run, and I'm watching. I'm like, Jesus Christ, he looks like a defensive line. Just the shoulder pads, everything is so much different. You're used to watching it nowadays. I'm like, man, everybody looks so different. But talking about the running back position,
you see that speed though? What about that speed though?
Oh, love it. Absolutely.
Gloss over that important factor right there.
Oh no.
I liked how you dipped your
I got
pads.
those. I remember that 68-yard run.
Yeah,
right.
That was a good old day.
Because everyone was bagging on his speed, Shayne, and then in the playoffs against the Vikings, he takes it straight to the house and was like,
fuck
all the haters.
That's why Wannstedt's mustache was crooked. He blew by him and it had that crooked mustache.
That's what it was.
Where did he get this speed from?
He was on his motorcycle.
Let's get Lewis Tillman out there.
He was on his police motorcycle.
But Raymont, speak on that. Just the position in general, and nowadays, you see a guy like Bijan coming out, and they're like, oh, you can't draft this guy in the top 10 because the analytics are saying that the running back position, you can't draft these guys, and even in the first round it seems. But speak on where that position is nowadays, and it seems like it's kind of getting pushed to the back of the table a little bit. You look in the Super Bowl, and Isaac Pacheco is leading Kansas City in rushing, 7th round draft pick. But does that ruffle your feathers a little bit when you see that talked about so much?
A little bit, because it feels a little disrespectful, because arguably next to the quarterback, like a running back, I guess it depends on the system, but a running back is so important. And being able to move that ball and move the chains and continually put the offense in a really good manageable positions, as well as being able to pass block, run block, all of that, pass receiver, Like all of that stuff, a running back has to be able to do. And I think, the position gets a bad rap because, some of these teams were able to, they didn't do a great job of drafting. So someone like Pacheco goes in the 7th round and makes it seem like he wasn't that good. Or Kareem Hunt, you get him at a discount. So now, you don't have to invest as much in running backs. I don't think it translates directly myself, but the fact that a running back nowadays, you rarely get a chance to see those guys going in the top 10. I mean, that's obviously true. When you think about, I think about Zeke. Zeke goes number 4 to the Cowboys. I mean, think about like how instrumental in that offense he was for so many years. So I don't really subscribe to this idea that running backs are not worthy of top picks. It's probably not the smartest move. Like I wouldn't take Bijan over Paris Johnson myself.
Right.
Looking at that offense and what they have to get done, and the fact that you've invested so much in Justin Fields and how dynamic he can be, to give that guy an offensive line that could give him a time to go through 3 or 4 different reads, man, and then be able to run, and I'd invest my money in that direction.
Stay there, because that was going to be my question. How closely do you follow the Chicago Bears? And me and Chris do the Super 16 poll show every Monday during the season, where Chris and I are talking about all the college games, and he follows the college game with a passion and probably loves it, and he shows no bias. So do you watch the Chicago Bears with a keen eye as well as college football, or is it just like a focus with Ohio State? And I know you love the game of football so much. Some players leave the game, like Curtis Martin. I was talking with Curtis Martin. He doesn't even watch the game of football. Hall of Famer, great player. He just doesn't care for it. So where are you on that?
Yeah, I definitely watch the game. I don't watch it as closely as I did back in the days. I grew up a student and the hugest fan of football. I knew every running back. I knew every player. It was just it was something that was so important to me, and to the point that I would spend all of my waking hours either reading about it, collecting football cards, working on the craft to actually get myself in a position where I could play on my high school team and then make it to a big time school and then make it to the NFL. That's who I was. And then when you finally get to the space that you wanted to get to, you realized how, it's not as glamorous. It's not what it's all made up to be. There's a lot of shady business, a lot of backdoor dealings. There's a lot of ugly parts to the game as well, especially with finally, the acknowledgement of the injuries and concussions and the way that guys put their bodies at risk. So I still love the sport. I still like to watch it here and there, but I don't watch it as closely as I used to. And I can absolutely understand why a guy like Curtis Martin probably looks at the game, looks back at it and thinks, even though I've had so much success in different areas, it still leaves a sour taste in some guy's mouth.
You brought his name up, Justin Fields.
Yeah,
so we gotta. I mean, you're an Ohio State guy, and you
Buckeyes.
Yeah, you got the Buckeye here, but when we cover the draft wire to wire, first pick all the way right through to the last pick live, and it's probably one of our biggest moments on air covering that, when the Bears went from 20 up to 11 and turned in the card on Justin Fields. And it's there's been some bumps, but as a whole, our entire network, we base everything that we do not off stats. We're watching tape and breaking down tape, and big fans of what he does. And we get real aggressive when people are calling out the kid and saying that he can't throw the football. And I'm like, well, it just you're crazy. You know, they must be Michigan fans, right? Raymont saying that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speak on now. I'm assuming that you know Justin a little bit with your connection. I mean, or do you know him, away from football? But just speak on any type of relationship and what you see as Justin Fields, the quarterback.
Yeah, man. I don't know Justin Fields, to be honest.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we were going through COVID.
Yep.
And
okay, yeah.
How you guys know how crazy life was, and games, and so many people are not even allowed to go over to practice and things of that nature. So I never really got a chance to adapt him down once, but I don't know him, so I can't speak to like who he is as a person. I can speak to secondhand all the people that love and admire and are extremely like supportive of him and who he is and how he has always showed up for Ohio State. And then just as I watch as a spectator, I went to maybe 3 games last year, and like the talent that he has, man, it's some of that off the charts kind of talent, and it makes a guy like me who was part of like that world for so long. When I see that, I recognize like someone like ultra talented. He's the kind of person where you put him into a system where like people will if they can give him 3 to 4 seconds to survey the field, go through three reads, and then do his thing, not to mention have about 2 or 3 receivers that can get open and not drop the damn ball. Like those kinds of things. He is the kind of guy that can thread the needle. He can throw a 15-yard comeback. He's the kind of guy who will drop a like amazing touch on a deep fade. He's got all of that stuff, and I'm just fired up to see like the Bears make some moves wide receiver wise to kind of like finally put some weapons around him that can like finally start taking advantage of his talent, because as wonderful and spectacular as he is, he can't keep playing in that same kind of offense that they did last year. He
completely agree.
He will not last.
You put your GM hat on and you said Paris Johnson at 9. Obviously, the Ohio State feeling there, but the reality is, for me as an analyst, he was the most difficult to analyze for the reasons you said. And it started with the play caller not understanding just how immensely athletic and creative this kid can be, and you can't confine that. Number one, they finally did understand that after the bye week. Number two, the offensive line was atrocious, and then the receivers on top of it couldn't get open, and when they did get open, they had the dropsies, something that you didn't have. So it's such a tough thing, and the social media aspect of it, everybody can say, I ain't paying attention to it. We're doing, but you do hear it because it's fucking everywhere. And I was afraid that they were going to ruin this kid because they totally didn't do what they should do for him. So now with your GM hat on, the Bears go out into free agency. They got a guard, which I think is a great guard. I was hoping they'd come out and get 2 tackles, for God's sake, and make this offensive line. Like, you got more money than you know what to do with, but they don't. So do you think in this draft they're going to make a priority on that offensive line? And, I love Paris Johnson too. Do you think that's where they're going at 9 is an offensive lineman? Is that what you would do?
Of course. I don't know, man. When you invest so much in the quarterback position, look, man, this is one of those sports, and of course, it's the ultimate team game, and you need all 11 players. I've heard, you gotta, everyone we need everyone. Yes, of course, but the quarterback is the most important position, and you invest not only draft picks and money to move up to get this guy, secure him, but then like you surround him with, the wrong offensive scheme, subpar O-line, receivers not doing their thing. It reflects so poorly on him. Or at the same time, the one person that shined on that team last year was the same guy, Justin Fields. So just imagine giving him like a left tackle or right tackle, a couple, like 2 more pieces like in that offensive line.
Yes.
And that's going to not only help, from a pass protection standpoint, but also be able to establish the run and not have him as like your main running back, running option.
Exactly.
I mean, like it doesn't make any sense there are guys like Lamar. No, there's only one Lamar Jackson, but Justin Fields is of that cloth where it's just special and he's dynamic and he does things on the field that people just have not seen before. But you want him to continue to do that, and you have to surround him with like the proper pieces to be able to allow this young man to shine. I'm hoping they go Paris Johnson and then pick up at least one more person, if not like another person in free agency, because like securing that line is going to be like the key to being able to establish the run and allow Justin Fields to throw the ball like he needs to throw it.
Yeah, and I think it's really important because this draft it's actually set up real well for Chicago because it's deep on the offensive line. But listen, you can't have enough of those guys. Another name that I want to bring up is from your school again. It's been a real big topic with Bears fans. Phil and I aren't there with the fans. Not saying that we don't like the kid or the talent, but we just don't think that the Bears are there yet. If they Jackson Smith and Jigba, the wide receiver, Phil and I couldn't pull the trigger on him at 9 just because yes, it's a weapon for Justin, but if you're laying on your back, it's not doing you too much good to have some wide receivers on the outside. But speak to this kid. A lot of people see him, and he's not a burner, but he's got those feet and the separation, the short area quickness is off the charts, crazy. It's not something that you see very often for a kid. I know people fall in love with the 4.2 and 4.3 speed. It's not there, but like I said, his short area quickness is really next level. Speak on him a little bit.
Yeah, just Jackson Smith and Jigba he's a special player, man.
Yep. And
whoever gets this guy is going to be so happy, so excited. If, like you said, ideally the quarterback will have enough time to be able to get him the ball. He is an exquisite route runner, like superior. At that age, you can just tell he's put a lot of time into it, and he's had a lot of good direction. But his body control is amazing. He's the kind of guy that can get open in like really small, tiny spaces. And like I keep hearing this conversation about he's not that fast. Dude, he's a 4.4 guy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you this. He's a 4.4 guy. Trust me, he is. He truly is. And then sometimes there are guys that that may not time as well, but like on the field they run like so much faster. And like those short and small compact spaces, and definitely like in the slot, he's the kind of guy he's gonna get quarterbacks paid, and he's gonna be responsible for like helping teams make it far in the playoffs, because he's that kind of player. I would not necessarily take him if Paris Johnson was already taken, and there wasn't some. I haven't followed the draft that closely, so I don't really know what other O-line like prospects there are. But I mean, if there wasn't someone that knocked my socks off, I'd entertain the idea, man. He's that special.
But if they were both available at number 9, you're going the offensive lineman. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I agree with you wholeheartly there.
I understand the importance of being able to protect that quarterback, especially his blind side.
3 offensive linemen from Ohio State in this draft. Whippler, the center, who I love. I think I love every Big Ten center in this draft. The kid from Minnesota, the kid from Michigan. I think everybody's sleeping on the kid from Michigan, but your guy there, and the kid from Wisconsin. There's 4 centers from the Big Ten that will start in the NFL. No doubt about it. Be day one starters, all 4 of them, in my professional opinion. But that being said, I want to put you on the spot. The show's called Keepin It 100. I asked you to keep it with 100 with Coach Wani. So you're the GM. Justin Fields and CJ Stroud are there. Which guy are you banking on? As an Ohio State genius.
What offense do I have? Do I have last year's offense?
Whatever you want to run. No.
If I got last year's offense, last year's line, and last year's receivers,
then you're going Justin. well, ask it this way. You're starting your own franchise.
Yeah.
You're going quarterback first. Who would you rather build around at quarterback? And Raymont Harris.
Okay. This is what we do here. Keep it 100.
That's what we do and shit. You say that, Phil. You say that as if I have some I'm a little nervous or hesitant.
Oh, no.
I'm not. I don't give a shit about any of this.
I love Raymond. I thought you were going to be shy. You're not shy at all. I love this.
I like that. That's good one. Shit. Yeah, I think real talk, man. I love CJ. Okay. I'm going Justin Fields. I like him, man. I know how well he can throw the ball, and I just put a true premium on being able to be a dual threat, but not the way they used him last year, but more of a when things aren't going well or going right in a play, he can actually make some shit happen that can, get a first down, keep the ball moving, keep everyone like in a space where even if a guy doesn't block as well, the fact that if he misses to the outside, Justin can improvise and still make something happen. I just find a premium in something like that. So I like him, and I think he's a good throwing quarterback as well. CJ Stroud is legit though, man. He's way more polished, and he's the prototype. And you get him in the right scheme around the right people, he has a chance to be special. But that is if we're being real, man. I don't know how many guys will actually say this, but that the majority of the league is that right there. Yep. It depends on what team you go to, what scheme you play in, who's playing next to you, who's playing behind you, what who the coaches are. All of that kind of stuff is going to be, the determining factor for 80% of the guys on whether or not they have success. You take Emmitt Smith, who's, arguably the greatest running back. I don't think so, but yardage-wise, he is. You take him, you put his ass in Detroit, and we never hear of him again. So, and that's just the case. So getting to the right team with the right people around you and in the right scheme, and then being fortunate enough to not get injured, that's truly the makeup for the majority of the NFL.
It's so true. Because would Aaron Rodgers be Aaron Rodgers if we drafted him in Chicago? We've said this many, and my father said it. The coaching, the culture, all of that stuff is so important. Under Matt Nagy, it was a fucking shit show. He was a shoe salesman, and it was utter chaos. And the media, we bring on media here all the time, would debate with me and Shayne. I'm like, listen, Phil, Shayne, the locker room loves him. Yeah, they love him because he has no fucking discipline, or he's a punk.
Yeah,
So
tell him this part. I mean, Raymont, you lived.
I didn't know.
You lived the life. Matt Nagy had players at the end of season when they go in and sit down with the coaches and all that. He had players from the 2018 team tell him that they wanted him to show them up in front of the team and point out the mistakes that were made. He didn't do that.
We had David Montgomery and Ryan Nall on our show together. And I asked him because the media was telling us something, and I'm seeing something and hearing something, I'll be honest, from players. And I asked them, I'm like, does your coach put everybody in a room and put the game tape up there and kind of hold people accountable? He's like, no, we haven't done it. In fact, he finally did it, and players were like, we like this. We want to be held accountable. Yeah. Like, there was no accountability. So again, there's a different Matt. There's a different Matt in here. He preaches evil. He says all the right things. I was at the Detroit game. To your point, Detroit has a lot of hype. They're doing a lot of good things, what have you. Justin Fields was Michael Jordan on the football field against Detroit, just keeping the Bears in the game, just running, knocking people out of the game as a quarterback. There's a level of greatness that just jumps off the screen with this guy. So to your point, if the culture and the players surrounding him, you get that offensive line right. And I love the DJ Moore trade. You got a fucking dog with Darnell Mooney. The other guys, how they handle the draft is going to be important, but they don't have Raymont Harris's. They let one go. I was a huge David Montgomery.
I was going to say David Montgomery was that guy.
He was like that guy. That to me is a loss, because to your point, you got to find dogs like that. Now they got Deontay Foreman. Me and my dad broke him down on our patron show yesterday. And there's a lot of things to like. There's a story there that I like about redemption. So Deontay has an opportunity here. But to you, in your mind, I hear that you believe Justin Fields is the truth. And the Bears haven't had the truth at quarterback in such a long time. It's such a long time. So I loved the Emmitt Smith.
You didn't believe in Steve Stenstrom, Phil?
I did believe. I did. I will say.
Raymond even laughed on that one.
That was a funny one.
Moses Moreno.
Yeah, of course. Moses Moreno. I like it.
Eric Kramer was a guy in 95 that I felt like, okay, here we're moving the fucking ball. He had texted me today, if you didn't separate your shoulder that opening day, you would have been Pro Bowl, All Pro, 100%. He wrote it twice to me. Make sure that I told you that tonight on the show. He wanted every fan to know what the Ultraback is the truth about you. You did everything.
I appreciate that, man.
And you got a lot of young generation. What do we call them, Shayne? Because I wrongfully call them millennials. They're not millennials.
Oh, no.
They're Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Is that it?
Yeah, Gen Z.
They don't know Raymont Harris like we
They
did.
don't count. We don't count them. It's all right.
It's okay. They don't know and shit. They didn't have to watch laser discs.
Yeah.
VCRs.
Shayne should have a show.
I had a kid the other day tell me we were having the LeBron MJ debate, and he's like, Michael Jordan was just a ball hog. He wasn't that good. And I'm like, kid, you're 12. I might punch you right square in the face. It's crazy.
He's no Michael Cooper, but
yeah, right.
Yeah, of course. I mean, any kid even like a little kid who cares a little bit about sports. If you watch like The Last Dance during COVID,
yeah,
how could you? I don't know, man. The greatness of MJ, it was just on full display. And man, I was so fortunate to be in the city.
Oh yeah,
during that second three-peat, and it was just, man, it was LeBron's my favorite player ever, but MJ is who you got to say is the best.
Oh yeah,
I saw this video on top of it because I'm straight up football. That's all I do. I don't even watch nothing else, right? But there was a great moment where it was A-Rod and Kobe Bryant being interviewed by somebody, and they asked him, the GOAT, who's the GOAT? And Kobe had such a great, profound answer to it. He's like, first it was Wilt Chamberlain,
Yeah.
right? And that passed down to Michael, and then it passed to me, and now it's to LeBron. Like, there's a chain to the GOAT, he was saying, and I thought it was so profound because it's like how it's very difficult to give a crown like that, and even Michael Jordan has said it, but we as fans have to, I break chops all the time just to get them fired because I don't watch, but I was a huge Magic Johnson fan. Yeah. But I got to give Michael Jordan the nod, and to your credit, that documentary, just to show the competitive drive and spirit. It so sucks that we don't have Walter Payton in this world, because I know he had that same drive to be the best. And we always see the hill and all that stuff. Yeah. And I don't know if you said, I'm jumping around, but I don't know if you guys saw today. And I think it's really important at the owners meeting, they announced that there's going to be like a new NFL Films collaboration. Now, you know how the WWE kind of has their own movies and they have their brand and they have actual directors doing it. The NFL has signed with, I can't remember who the company is, but they're actually going to go now and actually do movies on NFL players and stories. And there's so many Chicago Bears stories, like Walter and George Halas, #1. I mean, starting the NFL. We've never seen this. So
gotta see that Ultraback movie.
We gotta see that's where I was getting to.
I'm talking about and shit. Like, come on, man.
Lorraine, Ohio.
Forward to the feels like George Halas, Papa Bear Halas, and
Walter Payton
and Walter. Man, hey,
and then the Ultraback.
And the Ultraback.
I still remember the late great Stuart Scott, cooler than the other side of the pillow. He just loved you. Yeah. So here in Connecticut, we didn't have Chicago sports updates, right, Shayne? We had to like reach out everywhere. That was dial-up days, AOL when you were playing, right?
Prodigy.
Yeah. Netscape Navigator.
Net zero.
Raymont, you had an AOL.com email address, didn't you?
I did not.
No?
Prodigy. I had a burner account.
Downloading all those songs from Napster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. LimeWire and Napster. I was all over that shit.
LL Cool J song, and it turned out to be like a threesome with a goat.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? This is not Rock the Bells.
Yeah.
Unless that dragon was fucking a goat.
That was Alan. That was Alan who you're talking to.
He said goat. Good job.
All right, man.
Let me ask you this. When you look back on your career, are there any plays that you look back on and say, damn, I regret this one play or something in that vernacular? We always talk about the positives. I always ask everybody, is there one play you wish you had back?
Yeah, man. That's a good question. I never really got that one before. It's in my fourth year.
Okay.
With the Bears, it was my free agent year, and it was we were in game 12 or something like that, and I had over 1,000 yards already, and I was like leading the NFC in touchdowns, and it was just and it was my free agent year. I'm like, this is it, man. I'm like, this shit is going great right now, and I broke a run. It was against the Buffalo Bills, and I got to the sideline. And it was like my mentality was never to run out of bounds. It was always to do some kind of spin move, get back into the field, and I'm gonna lay this hammer on somebody real fast and get an extra 2 or 3 yards, because that's what I do. And this particular day, I did a spin move and did that same thing. I broke it for like maybe 20-something yards. Instead of running out of bounds, I did a spin, came back in, tore my ligaments in my ankle. And my season was over. And man, I just think about like our team did, we weren't doing well that year. So
20-yard run, by the way.
Was it 20? Oh, you know that.
20.
Okay, yeah. It was that was the last run of that year, obviously. And immediately I had to have surgery. But man, I think about like to be able to play like more games and to be able to, I don't know, man, just really put up the kind of numbers that I really wanted to put up would have probably ensured that I would have stayed at Chicago because I wanted to play there like my entire career.
Yeah.
And that decision right there ended up, making it seem like I was injury prone and, they went a different direction.
How was your recovery with it? Because that's one thing that we hear about too is, they're like, man, if we would have had that back when I played, because now, I mean, Deontay Foreman for the Bears, he tore his Achilles tendon at one point. That used to be a career ender at one point, and now, these guys are coming back from it. But how was your journey after that? Do you feel like it really affected your play going forward, or not really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
To tear like the ligaments in your ankle and then have screws there. It's there's like obviously a healing that has to happen, and then a rehabilitation process that has to happen. And I did all of that, outside. I was unsigned, so I was a free agent, so I didn't necessarily have a legit facility to get myself better.
Mm-hmm.
I got signed by the Packers on a 2-year deal. The very next,
we won't hold it against you, bro. It's all right.
It's okay. The Bears would have stepped about it, but there's still been so I went there and I was, I was never 100%. So the things that made me special, I just couldn't do those things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So once you can't do like, your superpowers, you then become average and pedestrian. And I could feel myself just kind of, falling into like a space where I was just kind of like just average. And that was a really difficult thing to have to deal with after playing like at such a high level.
Yeah, because like I was saying, Stuart Scott, I lost my point there. He would just the quiet storm, the Ultraback. He would get all hyped up on Sports Center.
Yeah.
And we live for that here in our neck of the woods to see a highlight from Raymont Harris. If you didn't have the Sunday ticket or whatever, but how hard you talked about the bad side, the shady side, the politics of the NFL, especially did you feel that with the injury, or was it your whole experience was kind of shaded with that kind of letdown? I know Chris Zorich talked about it, and I'll quickly paraphrase it. He got there as a Bears fan from Chicago, South Side, loved the Bears. He gets there, and not everybody's amped up for Packers Bears. And he didn't understand that as a young player. It's like, yo, we're going out here to fucking win. Yeah. And some guys didn't have it. They were out drinking the night before or whatever. So was that hard for you?
You know what, man, the shady side of the business side of it, it really came into full focus that last year, because not only did it was my free agent year. So back then you could have a franchise tag, which we still have, but then there was also a transition tag.
Yep.
And with the transition tag, you're guaranteed the average of the top 10 at your position.
Right.
But with the tricky, I don't know what genius did this, but if you put the tag on someone, you could actually take it off as well. So the Bears, it was a really fucked up shit. So they put the tag on me, and then teams signed different running backs and free agents.
Oh my
They took it off of me, and then they drafted Curtis Enos. So that always left a sour taste in my mouth, with the franchise and with the front office. But man, when you look at it, I've had a number of years now to kind of look back in retrospect. I mean, it's a business, regardless of people say like we're family and we got your back and we're looking after you guys. Like that's really not it. It's a big ass business, and you have to do what you have to do to make sure you take care of yourself. And that if any young person that was going into the NFL or asking me about it, I would make sure I share that, those tidbits of knowledge right there.
You're only family if you're doing everything in your power to support this business that we have. And that's how players are treated, like a piece of meat. And it is the business. That's why Shayne and I have always said, David Montgomery, great player. I gave his eulogy as a fan, right? But you can't hate the guy now. You can't hate Raymont Harris for going to the Packers. He has a family. Because it is a business side of it. And we always remind people of that. I don't hold any grudges with any of these players for doing that because of what you're saying. And this guy.
Oh, Ted.
Ted was the guy who pulled the transition tag at the last. That's so grimy, Shayne.
Just may have done that. Yeah, I think
I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
I
don't look. I got a company called Elite Mindset Performance. I specialize in being positive, and you know what? You're doing a good job of testing me right now.
Hey, you've been around the Bears as much as we have, Raymond. It's hard to stay positive. It's a lot of years of getting beaten down, but
I think we're positive about the new president that replaced
Kevin
Ted
Warren.
there, because they finally have a guy, a black man, a presence that understands the importance of football besides business. And I think it's a huge step. If you as an alumni, for me, I was told my uncle was Sam Rutigliano. Quick story again. For the Cleveland Browns, head coach of the Browns back in the Cardiac Kids. He told me, real talk, the Bears offered him the job when the Browns, Marty Schottenheimer kind of stabbed him in the back. And the Bears had called up after Modell let him go and offered him the job before Ditka. They're like, George Hallis called him on the phone, give you the job. And he's like, I need the weekend to think about it. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills called him and did the same thing. And he called around. And he's like, everybody kept telling me about this guy who's an accountant in there that has the ears of these people. He's like, I can't be around that. And as the seasons went on, it was more and more conducive of that kind of politics before football. And when I was around the Bears and everything, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe my uncle. I'm like, no way. Like the Bears, man. Football first. Yeah. But as I grow, I'm going to be 50 this July. Chris's stories, Dante, Lemieux, Urlacher, all of these players coming up. Olin Kreutz has been on our show several times talking about the griminess of this. And I really believe that there is a ray of sunshine now with this guy, Kevin Warren, about to take over the position of president and have that kind of direction that the Bears haven't had since the old man Hallis was there. And you could talk about that. You felt it.
Yeah, I mean, shit, we'll see. I really hope so. I've gotten to know Kevin Warren a few times, man. And like, what a great dude. And if there was ever a reason to feel some type of optimism to number one, like the way that the Bears operate, especially from like a family perspective, like that feels good. And then number two, someone who's been around like successful, like winning like franchises and is the kind of person who is going to make keep people accountable, and make sure that they're doing like any and everything that they can to put, the field like the best absolute product on that the fans deserve. I believe that's Kevin Warren. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm optimistic. I'm fired up about the whole shit, and we'll see. We shall see.
So
we
Raymont,
need to make a priority on alumni. I'm sorry, Shayne. Alumni. That was the first thing I think Kevin. I know Chris was there representing TTNL.
Yeah, because
and
Zorich was his first client when he was an agent. Yeah,
I heard about that.
Yeah, he was the first one.
Yeah.
How crazy is that, man? How life goes. Life is
freaking.
Chris is a part of our network, and we're watching it. And he points out Kevin is up at his presser, and he points out, he's like, Chris Zorich is here today. So Phil and I are instantly texting Chris like, bro, you didn't even tell us you were there.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't do it.
He's like, it happened last second, Phil. I'm like, dude, you can't tell us you're going to be there. But I really believe in what you're saying here. It makes me emotional because I live and die with the Bears. I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit. It affects my whole week. It affects my life. The schedule comes out. We plan our holidays around it. And, and our travel. And that's the reality for it. So I think Bears fans have suffered long enough. And I came around to my uncle's truth that Ted Phillips did have a karma of negativity in business, a shady side that affected decisions. Shayne tells the story all the time. They were going to trade for LaDainian Tomlinson, and Ted put the kibosh on that. 2001 draft. So real quick, I know we've had you on for a long time, and but I think one thing that's important is the alumni and yourself being treated like the family that you have. Now, they've made some steps, and I really believe Kevin Warren is going to further those steps to reach out to people like yourself. Are you excited about that, or do you have hope for that? Because I think you left everything on the field. You really did. You played with a passion and pride that really any Gen Z watching a highlight or watching your intro is just a snippet of what this guy did for the Bears. I hope you are treated and embrace that opportunity to be there in Chicago.
Yeah. Hey, Phil, thanks, man. I appreciate you saying that. And I do. I feel optimistic. Like I said, I know Kevin. And honestly, the Bears for a really long time as a franchise for the players they really had a really bad reputation. But I have to admit, man, over the last 10 years, like they've done such a great job of outreach. I've been back 3 or 4 times, and there's a feeling that the guys that help build this franchise are part of a family and part of a really select group of guys that really did something special. And it really does seem like the Bears are starting to kind of see and feel and understand that. And I think it'll only be magnified now by bringing Kevin into the fold. So I take my hat off to like the people in the front office. For some reason, right now I can't remember anybody's name because that's what
Ryan Poles, the GM.
Ryan Poles,
I don't know.
Ian Cunningham.
He didn't have anything to do with the reach out of former players. I'm talking about like people in like player engagement.
Okay. Yeah.
Who? God damn it! I mean, see, that's what happens when you have a lot of like concussions and shit. You can't remember anything. Trust me, whoever those people are, I like them a lot, and they're doing well. I'm not gonna say anything bad because I want to keep having good things happen to me.
Yes, we want good things. Speaking of good things, you have a business. Let people know about your business here, EMP.
Yeah, no doubt. Of course. Yeah. I was working at Ohio State for 15 years. I was working in the athletic department doing major gift fundraising and for like the last 14 years, 15 years. And then I just recently retired to start my own elite mindset coaching, consulting, and public speaking business. And then, last month I just also launched my own new nonprofit because over a 15-year period, I've learned how to really build this skill of fundraising. And it kind of felt like it was irresponsible for me not to continue on and use those skills that I had learned. So, so I work with teams and individual athletes, Fortune 500 companies, mom and pop shops, member organizations, school districts. I go to all these different places and I share the things that have helped me make it to where I am currently, and then also to help like people to truly understand, like if it's all about being elite, then doing these things right here will help you be the best version of yourself. That's my business. That's EMP.
Fundraising. They might be hiring you back in Chicago, build this new stadium. So, they get you up in Arlington Heights, raise some money.
That would be something.
Yeah, five or six billion for this entertainment district.
Yeah, good luck with that. I don't know how you
says a lot about it.
I am a keep the stadium in the city kind of guy, but hey, me though.
Well, see, Phil's from Connecticut. I'm from New York, and we get bagged on a lot about that because we're not Chicago guys. But I mean, I can understand their outlook on it, wanting a complex where they can bring in Final Fours, multi-purpose and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, we all know it's all about the almighty dollar.
Yeah,
it's so limited. Soldier Field. The Chicago Bears should not have the smallest stadium in the NFL under any circumstance. The way that I see it, I know it's quaint and
another
and
TED
like that,
issue, Shayne.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this. I mean, it seems like it's definitely happening. Heading up to Arlington Park, but
I'm not looking forward to that park. Nah.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I love football, but here's a news flash: the Ohio State women's basketball team is playing right now against Virginia to make it to the Final Four. Who you guys got in the game? Tech #1 ranked in the region versus Ohio State's #3 team. They just
been a lot of upset. Well, you're talking to the wrong guy if you're talking to Phil. He doesn't know anything about basketball. But
I'm going with Ohio State.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
That's right.
So I'm gonna start watching this game very soon because I love.
Yes,
we'll let you
time with you guys.
Yeah,
watch basketball.
We have one favor.
One request before we let you get out of here. Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
What's up, bro?
Unless you had another question for him. I know there was
no. Go ahead with the request. Okay. We want to get him out of here.
The request is to get a station ID from you so we could put you on the beginning of our shows and stuff like that. And all you have to do, it took Zorich several takes.
Yeah.
Well, he's got that Notre Dame education. It took him, he tripped up 5-6 times.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by it. There are some things you got to say that surprised me. That was not one of them.
But yeah, we just get you to say who you are and where you're from, what you're doing, and you're keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies network. So the NFL is going to be making this Ultraback movie. We've got to put your acting chops
to
the
go.
Tester.
We have to do that then. But before we do that, then I'll need to make sure. I noticed that you've done this, Shayne. Need you to go out and follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, I just did tonight. Yeah,
did that. I want you guys to push that out to to your viewership.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Small business, and I understand.
Follow him on Instagram.
Follow new age business. I have to do the Instagram shit. So I appreciate.
Follow me back because I want to send you the intro.
Your intro.
Oh, I love that intro. Okay. Good look. I'll do that, man.
So play it on your phone every time you walk into a room. Yeah.
I'll text you my number in there, my cell, and I'll text you the intro.
Cool.
Trust me, I won't bother you.
Count him down so we can watch his game. We'll get the
okay. Who you are? Yo, this is Raymont Harris, the Ultraback.
I'm not doing that. But go ahead.
Don't do whatever you want.
I'm not doing it that way. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool.
You ready?
Yeah, of course.
3, 2, 1, go ahead.
I'm Raymont Harris, the Quiet Storm, aka Ultraback, and I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you made Zorich look silly there for sure.
I caught the ball in the flat, turned up the field, trucked over several guys.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing before I let
Did a spin move and then blew my ankle out. And was done.
Oh, not that one. I appreciate you being so candid and following the script here, keeping it 100. I could talk to you for another hour because you're such
he's
a
got
good
a game to watch.
human
Bring
being.
me back, man. Bring me back on later sometime or something.
I'm going to
Ohio
bring
State's
you
down 19-14 right now. Raymont.
That's
Oh, you got
early.
it.
Come on.
Shayne, there's a TV right.
All right.
I was barely listening to you guys the last.
Fucking these guys think I'm listening.
You guys are still talking.
He's digging into the wing. All right, Raymont, thank you so much. People say they love you in the chat. You sound like DMX vibes.
Yeah,
going out here. The Ultraback. Thank you so much, Raymont. We love you.
Thanks, man.
Always love.
All the best.
Yep.
God bless. Raymont Harris, the Ultraback. He was saying something else. No, he's bounced. Ultraback. Keeping it 100 tonight.
I was like, damn,
getting
you
over.
Yeah. No, man.
I thought he was saying something else. I didn't want to cut him off. But wow, that was
get
awesome.
Certain guests along the way, if you do this long enough, you can just feel like, I mean, I was ready. I'm like, hey, you want to promote your stuff? It sounds like you need a show on our network. We'll give you free reign and do your thing and promote away. He's got the powerful voice and extremely articulate, loves to talk, loves to chop it up. Perfect fit here. But man, I could listen to Raymont talk all day.
Dude,
great get.
Loved him as a player.
Yeah.
Great get by Bratcher.
Yeah, he put down the friggin' bingo marker for a couple minutes and locked in Raymont.
Locked in on Raymont Harris.
He had somebody sitting in for him. Just
as
I
said that, Ohio State ties it up 19-all.
There you go. So, and Raymont's like, fuck you, Shayne.
Yeah. The best comment of the night was, you guys thought I was listening to you. I'm like, I look up, these guys talking, watching the game. That was great.
Listen, there's something special about some of the veteran players that come on this show and share their stories as well as their appreciation for the city of Chicago. As much politics and BS as there is, I still can testify Dante Jones and Raymont Harris and Chris Zor. They love the Bears. They love the Bears.
Phil. And it's important. Listen, we know where the Bears have been. And like I said, to me, it all started that April night in 2021 when Ryan Pace traded up. It was his ultimate going away gift for the Bears. Now they pissed away that first year with him, but to me, it really felt like everything was a course correct, starting with Justin Fields. And the seasons, we haven't had the winning season since, but there's been little things along the way. Like the ultimate, I wish everybody could have seen Ivan and my reaction on the final game of the season when Houston won that, because it mattered. It was one more thing. As a Bears fan, you're used to getting kicked square in the nuts over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden it works out. You get the number one pick. And then you get a bounty back. You get another big weapon for your quarterback. So slowly but surely, this process isn't as fast as most people would like it, but they're stacking together W's, not in the win-loss column in the season, but they're stacking W's away from the field. And that stuff's all going to add up, man. It really is. I love where this team is headed. Kevin Warren takes over, I believe they said today, in 17 days officially. So where we're going, where we're headed, I know Peter Bukowski doesn't believe it, but the Bears' arrow is pointed up. It's way up, and I'm here for it.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I just want to interject. Please head over to Instagram or Twitter. Follow Raymont Harris there, and let him know you saw him on our show at Raymont_Harris. That's Raymont with a T, not a D. I see some people in the chat. Raymond is Raymont Harris.
So real
on
quick,
Twitter,
Phil, this
Raymont
is
Harris, all one word.
Ryan Cox just shared this. Kevin Warren was interviewed at the owners' meetings. And this is from guest of TTNL, Dan Weeder. This is directly from Kevin Warren talking about Arlington Park. He said, the unique thing about the Arlington Park site is we'll be able to meld here in Chicago some of the greatest attributes that have gone on at other stadiums across the country in the NFL in this space, to build that environment where it really is a 365-day opportunity. So there you go, man.
365-day opportunity.
That means nightlife. And if I could just interject, because what I imagine it being, like the surrounding area, like obviously we talk about Wrigley Field and Wrigleyville and that whole area. People from Chicago, if you go down there, it's in a neighborhood, but you feel like, it has a nightlife, it has bars down, left and right, you could eat. It has a hotel, like you have, everything at your service. What I imagine it being is like something like a cross between that and what they have over in Rosemont, which is similar. It's like I actually had lunch with Adam Rank over there, Phil, when he was over in Chicago. But it's similar. It's a nightlife. It's open area. It's a nice strip of land. But what the Bears are going to have is going to be greater than that, I feel like, because they're going to own it all, first of all. But then they could control everything coming in and out. Like when they say something like that, I imagine that being it, where you could go out nonstop, eat, drink, have a nightlife, dates, stuff like that, hotel there. And then, on top of that, once it's Bears season.
So what you're saying is Bratcher's moving to Arlington Park.
I would imagine somewhere around there.
Well, that's really what it's about. I'm here. Yeah. I've been to the Patriot Stadium, and there's things for the wife to do if you're going to the game. There's things for the kids to do if you're going to the game. There's a whole component of shopping, entertainment, comedy clubs, bars, a nightlife, a place to be where there's a lot of things going on. And then on top of that, you're going to be able to host other events that are big time events, like the Big Ten championship ain't going to Indiana anymore. I could tell you that.
Yeah, the Final Four, the Super Bowl.
Final Four.
Let's be honest.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the city of Chicago.
TTNL tailgate.
That's right. There'll be more space. And when I went to listen, I'll say this about what Raymont had said. I agree. There is something really like going back to Connecticut to tell people the city of Chicago. I've been to New York hundreds of thousands, if not times. Chicago is so much nicer, friendlier, cheaper, cleaner. There's a feel there. I know you guys hit the news with the amount of shootings and stuff like that. It kind of portrays Chicago.
Every place on earth is cheaper than New York.
Yes.
I'll tell you that. Every place.
But the city smells. It's like there's an odor coming from the gut.
Well, you got that garbage issue. Well, and New York has that garbage issue. The city, at least.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Because like I mean, there's places in Illinois and Chicago where you put your garbage out in front. It's just like it's not to the extent where you're fucking walking through garbage, to get to work or something like that. Like I've seen some pictures before where it's gotten crazy in New York. I haven't lived it.
Yeah,
but
it's listen, it's night and day difference, and the food. And listen, New York is you have to see New York, no doubt about it. There's so much that needs to be seen, but I just prefer Chicago. But the point is the experience of walking downtown on Michigan Avenue, crossing over, walking through a park to an NFL game is quite an experience based on that lakefront. It's a beautiful thing. I know a lot of people hate the stadium. I'm not a hater like that, but I totally agree that it needs to be bigger and more fun. I mean, the tailgating there is so tight. When we did our first TTNL tailgate,
and
it's like, oh my God, just to go to the bathroom. I couldn't bring my kids to that.
It's Chicago fucking Bears. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's got to be an experience before you even set foot into the stadium. And that's what it's going to be. That's what Kevin Warren is going to set out to make it. And the difference is nobody, I don't know what the land usage was for for SoFi. But I mean, it's just, plus 300 acres that they're acquiring.
Right.
So
it's a lot of land. They got to do it right. And if Ted was there, they'd fuck it up.
Oh yeah, it would be in the corner. Yeah. And it would be, 60,000 seats. And yeah, I totally agree.
Would. Kevin's going to do it right. I said this to McCaskey straight up. No joke. Larison can tell you. You have to make your tailgating area a place that people love to go.
Yeah.
Like the experience, because that part of football isn't for everybody, but 80% of people love it. So that 80% is a big percent. I'm not drinking before the game.
You get down to Tuscaloosa, there's RVs pulling in on fucking Wednesday.
Exactly.
For the Saturday game. You know what I mean? And they're tailgating every day leading up to the game. So it's, that I'm not saying that they're going to create it to that level, but like you said, the sports book is going to be there. There's going to be tons of restaurants, hotels, there's going to have to be some amazing museum, Chicago Bears museum, honoring the history and all of that. I'm really looking forward to it. And again, these are the things that we've talked about for years and years and years. And Kevin Warren, the Bears family-run business, there's a lot of small-minded thinking along the way that comes with this, even though it was a billion-dollar franchise. And I look at it, like I said, Kevin Warren gets the job, and one of the biggest athletes in any sport, LeBron James, is tweeting to him, congratulating him on his new job. Those little things are going to what expands Chicago to be a legit billion-dollar mecca within the NFL. I look at Chicago Bears just like I do the Texas Longhorns in college football. They're a fucking sleeping giant. People can look at Alabama. If Texas figured their shit out, there wouldn't even be Alabama. It would be the Texas Longhorns and everybody else. That's what I look like, or that's what I'm looking for the Chicago Bears to be like. They've been a sleeping giant for the better part of a century, really. And it's time to pull the pants up and be a big boy franchise. And I think we're starting to see that more and more every day. It's not going to be a quick fix. It's a slow process.
Just a little bit off topic. I'd imagine a couple more statues get put up there. You got you got players so Gale Sayers, Sid Luckman, Butkus. I mean, you still have great players, and not saying that they did anything wrong by putting Papa Bear and Walter up first, but like you're building something grand. You're thinking I'm imagining a walk up to the stadium with the renderings that we've seen so far.
Sure.
I imagine something like that where you could see all the great, the greats of the past walk into the stadium, interact, take pictures, stuff like that.
Yeah, totally
Listen,
agree.
Steve brings up a point too, and I want to talk more about the stat. I think that's important about the Ring of Fame being there.
Ivan threw that up at the perfect time. I want to talk about this real quick. A Bears strip club would be awesome. I'm like, all right, Phil, talk to me about it.
I just think a Ring of Fame is necessary.
Ring of Honor,
I really do. I'm tired of I know I said this on our patron show. I'm just tired of the retiring of jerseys. Brian Urlacher's jersey should be worn. If Singletary's jersey's worn, so should number 54. Why are we holding that off?
Right.
Okay. It's an honor. Make it a tradition. Someone that has the kind of dog in them that you recognize Urlacher for, you put it on them. You don't put a schlep on there. I still remember Jim Morrissey wearing Buckis's jersey. Now all of a sudden we're holding off these jerseys. I just don't like that. They've retired too many jerseys for my liking. And if I had my druthers, I would take all of them and put them all back into play except 34. And then make a Ring of Honor. Even George Halas's number 7. Put that back in the rotation and allow these fucking players to wear whatever jersey and keep the understanding of the tradition. Like, you ain't putting a scrub in number 7. Tony Medlin and the GM are going to strategically do that. I think, and Raymont alluded to it. I'm watching this fucking show, Swagger, on Apple Plus. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's so telling in regards to society today, these AAUs and the parents and the money and the social media and how they got to get their kid this sponsorship and this. I can only imagine the playing field on the NIL and all this shit going down in college football, let alone basketball. The NFL, you have an opportunity that you're already the prime cut of meat when it comes to the with football and everything. Make a Ring of Honor for the Chicago Bears at the new stadium. Announce, Kevin, that you're putting every jersey back into play and will honor those players with great players only wearing them. So just like Syracuse, Shayne, you could talk about
44.
it. Number 44.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's lots of colleges that do that. Yeah, absolutely. There's
something to be said about it, and I think it's very, very important that the Bears start embracing the football aspect of it. I was excited about hearing that owners meeting about the movie aspect of it, because NFL Films collaborating with Hollywood and kind of putting this sport that's the greatest game in all of the world. Yes, it has its blemishes. Back on its prime and kind of share the backstories of Bronco Nagurski and some of these stories that we don't know, especially Walter Payton. I still can't believe he hasn't had a movie done about this guy.
He's got the Football Life done.
Yeah,
remember we talked about that one before, but
a
full-length movie is deserved. I would like to watch
that. It's deserved. Who
Pretty
would play his
for
role? Sweetness, right? That would be the name of the movie. Who would you get? Michael B. Jordan?
His role.
Who do you got? Who would star as Walter Payton? Let's see if the chat can come in here. Is there an actor that you can see?
Angelo.
Oh, I thought the name was Sweet Tooth. Sweetness. I was thinking.
Man, I fucked up. But
Angelo, do you remember Greg Braggs?
No.
I gotta do what I gotta do in the movie.
Gotta
be Angelo, right? You gotta do what I gotta do. That's a good question.
Who would play Walter?
Who would play Walter? Wouldn't be Will Smith, I'll tell you that. No. Definitely wouldn't be him. The title of the movie would be simple: Sweetness. I mean, it's that. It's already written right there.
Phil's been writing this movie for about 10 years now.
I wish I could. I don't know all the stories.
He's got a stack of papers.
I have seen it in my head, like going back to when he was a kid.
Alan, can you look up Morgan Freeman's 40? You look up at Morgan Freeman's 40 time? Might be about 14.2 at this point.
Morgan Freeman.
Jeez.
Oh, man. Listen, that was a great interview with Raymont Harris. If you're just tuning in, we had the great running back from Ohio State, then to the Chicago Bears. If you're a Gen Z, you're just going to want to go back. Shayne might have to upload some of those 90s games, bro. And shows people
onto somebody else's YouTube account.
Yeah. Just put it on
oh man, I gotta
Medusa.
Yeah, Medusa. Excuse me, boss man. Is it all right if I upload these?
Jamie Foxx would be too old to do it. Too old.
Oh, yeah, right?
Jamie
young Jamie.
Maybe
Foxx.
He could be old. Jamie could be Walter as he ages. There might have to be a young Walter and then tell the story. But
what about this? What about we go away from the acting aspect of it?
Yes.
Jarrett Payton does it.
I don't think he can handle the acting.
I think he could.
You think he could?
Yeah, man.
Has he had acting classes?
I don't know.
I mean, he's been on camera, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can. I love Jarrett. Jarrett, if you're watching, I just don't know. I don't want this to be. I want it to be a premium cut film. Like, yes, you walk out of there. I'm not saying he couldn't. It's a good idea. But what's his name from Creed? The guy who plays it, Creed 3. Oh my God.
No, that's probably not a that dude's in some hot water at the moment. He's probably not the greatest thing to be. Yeah.
What happened with him?
He's already he tried playing Dennis Rodman, then he kind of went off the deep end and
Majors
assaulting
John
women.
Majors.
Allegedly.
Not a good
allegedly.
a good idea. Oh, I didn't hear about this.
Got a little physical with the lady.
Was excited about that Dennis Rodman movie.
Yeah.
I guess the Ray Rice movie he might be able to.
That's third page. This is going down a bad pathway.
Listen. Unbelievable.
God.
35 more seconds. Phil's gonna be like
so slick and skinny in a hole.
Yeah. I said 35 more seconds. Phil's gonna be like, what about OJ? He can act.
Oh my God. So anyway, special Monday night edition of TTNL. Shayne, do you want to do the mock draft and then we'll wrap it up?
Not really. I can. Sure.
The Shayne mock. We had the Phil mock. Now we have the Shayne mock.
Can't do the PFF one anymore because they screwed over the fans. You have to pay.
Oh my God!
2 rounds.
Once they saw our show, Shayne.
Yeah.
Once they saw our show.
I'm not gonna get crazy. Listen, these simulators are fun to waste some time and whatever. That's fine, but people, I get so many mock drafts sent to me every single day. They're like, look, I got 7 first-round draft picks next year. This is gonna be the shit. Doesn't work.
Anybody could be a GM.
Yeah, this is so easy. All right, let's see. CJ Bryce, Will Anderson, Anthony Richardson, Tyree Will. I could see that being
there. This could
absolutely legit. So yeah,
This could
so
be
under
history,
this,
folks.
Under this, it's interesting. What is Detroit
I
do
think
here? Do
they'll
they go
take
corner?
Jalen Carter here. I think they'll take Carter.
Could be too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, there he is.
Yep.
So
There
is
it
Will
is.
Levis here?
Why not?
Harris Johnson.
Oh.
All right. So we have 4 offers.
Oh, jeez.
I would
Baltimore wants.
That's hard. That's hard not to say yes.
Yep.
They're giving the 2024 first. Arizona is as well.
That's interesting too. You
But
tell
you're
me that I can
dropping
get there
all the way
first
to
and
31.
Yeah, but you're telling me I can get there first and second next year. I think this team is going to be treacherous next year.
Oh yeah.
Or this season.
Definitely.
Yeah, but they're only giving you a second. You're not even picking in the first.
Yeah, I
this
know,
year.
but next year you're getting their first and second. So this you have to
I
make
wouldn't
this
do
trade
it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
with New England to pick up their first to drop from 9 to 14. Be
There
all
you
over
go.
that 24-56.
Shayne's you're the GM here. Shayne is the GM.
Yeah.
What did the Jaguars offer? I didn't see their offer.
24-56 and their 2024 first.
Whoa.
So to me, as bad as
this one is New England.
yeah,
right?
I mean you're getting the mother load there with Arizona. They're not going to be good. I don't feel like, but so I'm going to go ahead and take this New England offer. I don't think that there's a
Trading down,
chance.
folks.
Yeah. What is
Put some music
what is
to this.
Yeah.
Miles Murphy went at 8 to the Eagles.
Yeah, thank God. I want him nowhere in Chicago. Actually, you know what? We're not going to do that. So we got
some draft music here.
So
I accepted the Patriots offer.
I was debating.
They took Christian
there
Gonzalez.
There goes Broderick. So
Both of them went. Harris and Broderick.
Yeah. So
Broderick went to the Georgia, stayed in Georgia.
Yeah, he would have been my pick here. So now you're looking at Van Ness with me. I know a lot of people love Skoronski. Put him in there.
Do you consider Bijan at this spot?
I can't do it. I can't do it. Phil, you can speak on it. Could you be talked into Bijan Robinson at number 14?
I think you're going to talk about a game changer, but then again, based on what it is you're trying to build here.
Yeah.
That's a tough sell.
Yeah.
I could make a case for Skoronski and a certain tackle out of Tennessee right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got to go down a little bit more.
Where do they have Darnell on?
29th. Yep.
So based on, Van Ness, I love too. I took him at 9. So Van Ness, I like.
So
right. Dalton Kincaid would be in my conversation here.
Even at 14?
Yeah. I believe in this guy. I really do.
So, I'm going.
Brian Breesy would be in my conversation, obviously. I would have that.
My thing is I just don't know. I don't know the medicals on there, but so I'm going to go Van Ness.
You can also take. There it is, Van Ness.
Yeah, I just
Witherspoon could have been.
He's not there yet.
Lions.
Yeah, Bijan. Oof.
Detroit's gonna.
Timo just
got.
Timo just got fucked.
Yeah, I could never see that out.
Oh shit! Did I just?
Oh, is that just a 1?
Oh shit! I guess I didn't pick.
Yeah. And this one, you gotta. I believe you have to click all 7 all 7 rounds.
My bad. Let me do it again real quick. So, see, we get out of
Might
that.
get
mess.
a different.
Yeah.
Where you had it, I think I am picking the right guys at 14. I hope they.
All right.
It basically was the same. It seems like it was the same pick.
Yeah, but Paris Johnson's available
Still,
here.
yeah.
But
so then
21-54 Saints. I think they're going to be potential to have a. Yeah, and it's like Tennessee's not giving you a first round draft pick to move up 2 spots. It's not realistic at all. It's really not. It's just like that. They're for you to go. There's no way.
If they were, I would take it.
Yeah, I know, but it's just I'm not going to get into that. It's just
I get you.
It's nonsense to me. So I am going to.
You're going to reject and select.
Yeah. So we'll do this. I'm going to reject New Orleans. I'm going to reject. I would take it, but it's just to me, it's not realistic. I would think about this right here, but I'm going to reject it. We're going to get up here and with the 9th pick.
What if Tennessee really wants Levis, and that's why they're offering that?
Yeah, to go up to
Luke Stocker Light.
Think about it. Think about it, though. They're trying to jump Philly for a quarterback, and they're going to give up a future first-round draft pick. It doesn't
Who was the kid they drafted? Was his name Stecker? Who was that quarterback out of Washington?
Who you talking about?
Titans. Remember they moved up?
Locker.
Jake Locker. Yeah.
Jake Locker. Thank you, Ivan. Jake fucking Locker.
Yeah. So I'm sure you'll see Levis go to Tennessee here anyway at 11, but I'm going to take Paris Johnson Jr. at 9, and then we will make our way down. Oh, they took
Murphy.
Jesus. Yeah. So that just shows you it's craziness.
They took Murphy.
Yeah, Van Ness went 19 to Houston.
Brise went to the fucking Seahawks. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
So we're getting down there. Oh boy, my guy's still there. And I'm probably going to. Oh, there he goes. Did he? No, he didn't go. Come on. Get there. I'm going to probably piss off a lot of people if he's still on the board here. Oh, there goes. Yeah, a nice 3-tech for us. They're to 52. So Pittsburgh is offering the 80th pick and a 2024 second rounder. So I'm going to reject that. And I'm going to piss off a whole bunch of people here, Ivan Vargas. And I'm running to the table to draft a fucking playmaker. Jahmyr Gibbs. Roll Tide.
I'm not angry at it. I'm not angry about it. You need a playmaker.
If he's there on draft day, I'm making that fucking pick all fucking day.
You need to add playmakers. They spoke about playmakers. I know we all want the receiving core to be a little bit better. It's gotten better. We've added DJ Moore. It's gotten better. We still need to see them play, but adding another playmaker, whether it be tight end or at running back, I think is a must in this draft. And you have a lot of good running backs, available past that. Bijan Robinson, number 1. But Gibbs is, if he's not number 1, he's number 2, or he's 1A. And I love this pick if he was there.
So I am going to actually make this pick up. I'm going to drop down 9, but I'm going to pick up pick number 100. So I just made a trade with the Raiders because I have a pick coming up here at 64. I'm going to reject that. So we are on the clock here at 64. Raiders took Sidney Brown, safety from Illinois. I wouldn't have taken him. Kelly goes 62 to Philly. Clark Phillips 63 to Arizona. And so, where did Phil's in the background? Ivan, you got anybody you're
Oh my
you're
God,
looking
I
at
thought I
here?
was on. I was talking this whole time.
So Phil, did you see who I took?
Yeah, Gibbs.
Yep.
That was a good pick. I like it there. You know, I didn't know who was on the board because
How do you feel about cornerback, Shayne?
who was the tackle off the board at?
Who
was my guy right off the board at that pick?
Yeah, he went. Where did he go? Right there, 34th to Kansas City.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fucking
All right,
Kansas City gets a fucking good tackle there. At 64 now. This Tillman went off the board. Fucks.
Yeah. Dexter is interesting. Definitely looks the part.
Is there a center that you like here?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to. Tippmann. I'm interested in Stromberg, but I wouldn't take him here. I know that the Bears were in Penn State showing some interest in Juice Scruggs. They're bringing him in for a visit. Actually, I am probably going to go back offense.
Where you're going.
Yeah, because this guy I can push inside. I can make this guy a guard pretty easily. And I'm going to go to my roots here in Syracuse. And I'm a big fan of him.
Bergeron.
Yep, Matthew Bergeron is coming to Chicago at pick 64. And I can push him inside. He can be your left guard if you need him to be, or depending on what they do with Cody Whitehair. But that's where I'm going there. Matthew Bergeron. We have a pick coming up here again at pick 70.
First pick you took Paris Johnson, right?
Yes.
So you got 2 tackles now.
Yep.
You need an edge rusher.
Oh yeah. Well, I have a plan. I have a plan there. Just want to see who we got here. Can't go Carter there. Yeah, I gotta. What am I gonna do here?
I had to get my glasses on. These names are so small.
Yeah, I hear you, Phil. Is there anybody that you're interested in?
In this slot here, you took, just to go back, you took Gibbs, Bergeron, and Paris Johnson.
Yeah, so we
right here, you really got to go on defense.
Yep.
You already solidified what it is you're doing in the linebackers.
I am a fan of Harrison from Ohio State.
Yeah, he's a good football player.
Yep.
No doubt. The edge rushers, defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Andre Carter, year away.
Yeah, I think you're even more. I think you're even more than a year away myself. But yeah, I'm gonna pull the trigger here on our guy. I think I can get. So Zach Harrison from Ohio State.
There he goes.
They're bringing him. So
to
we have
Ohio State.
Yep, pick 100, and I think I have a guy in mind here. We'll see if he goes off the board. No, my luck, he'll go off right before pick 100. Where am I? Xavier Hutchinson, my guy just went.
He's gone.
Yep. My guy is still holding on.
A.T. Perry goes to the Seahawks.
Laporta, there he goes.
Sammy Laporta.
Yep. I am a fan of this guy. So we have a pick at 103.
This pick you traded for, right?
Yes, I traded. Yeah, I traded down. I believe it was with Vegas. I think I made a trade.
Is Foskey still on the board?
What's that?
Foskey on defense
from
or
Notre
was he
Dame.
Drafted?
No, there's no fucking way he's still on the board.
They were just saying in the chat, I'm like, is he still there?
No, fuck no. He had to went fairly early.
They land.
You went fucking 29th. Come on, chat. Fuck up.
Jesus.
I like people in the chat. Yeah, you can get him later, Shayne.
He went
ran this sim 14 times during my lunch break. So, all right, yeah. So we have the option to stick on defense. I got a guy here.
You like Pickens?
Yes, very much.
You like Pickens there. Let's
Yep.
see the tight ends.
Schumacher.
I love Schumacher.
Mm-hmm. Well,
There's
I gotta
Wilson there. Oh,
Yeah.
Charlie Jones, baby.
Yeah.
We're still in round. Where are we? Round 4?
No, where are we?
Kincaid went 26 to Dallas, huh?
Yep.
Round 3.
Yeah, we're
We're
just
at the end of round 3.
Yeah. So yeah, Zach Pickens is our pick 100, and then we are back up
and went right here.
Yeah.
I love. Well, this is yours. I'll shut up.
I don't know. Go ahead. I like your guy from Michigan too, Phil, but I think people are sleeping on Stromberg a little bit also. Myself, but
I love Olu.
I thought you were gonna say you love Olu something. I'm like, I was just getting ready to clip that.
Olu.
What was I looking at?
We're round 4 here.
Yeah. I'm taking Stromberg 103.
Taking Stromberg. I would have taken Olu.
I will take Gibbs over Charbonnet every day of the week and twice on Sunday. All fucking over Charbonnet easy.
Gibbs is a good back.
Yeah.
Game breaker.
All right. What do we got? Oh, so we're up here. Pick 133. You guys got any comments?
I would take Charlie Jones right here. He was still on the board.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, well, we can, but we just took Michael Wilson, so we can't take him. I think Michael Wilson has a absolute shot if he can be clean health wise to make a very big impact in the NFL. I'm a big fan of that guy.
I like him. I just think Charlie Jones is going to be a stud in the NFL.
Yep.
People can sleep on him.
This is the perfect cover 2 corner for me. I know Phil's guy is right there at 166.
I would take Riley Moss right here.
Yep. And we're going to take a corner, but we're going to take the guy right under him. We're going to take the perfect cover 2 corner and Garrett Williams to add to our stockpile.
Kenny McIntosh to the Texans might not be bad, actually.
Schumacher went to the Bengals.
Yeah. So we are into round 6 here.
Into round 6.
Did your boy just go, your wide receiver? Or he did not?
You got to pause it for a
There
second.
he goes to the Patriots.
Yep.
Of course he goes to the Patriots. Comes a fucking star in the Patriots. How many white corners make it in the NFL? I don't know.
I mean, they gotta try.
That's not how you draft. They're doing the same shit with black quarterbacks. That's just not how you do it. You watch the tape.
This Keaton Mitchell character, I know Ryan Cox is probably doing weird things to himself right now.
Round 7.
So pick 218. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me see the offense quick.
Yeah. Any specific
I was
position?
Want to see what quarterbacks were available.
Oh yeah, your boy is way down there, so we can easily get him. He's down in the 500s. Stetson Bennett, 527.
So Herndon went off the board too. Then must have went the 5th or 6th. Got to look at a talented 3-tech here.
Yeah, I have my eye on somebody. Yeah, and I'm gonna. To me, it's between Brooks and Byron Young isn't the guy that's going to give you a ton of pass rush.
Brooks has a lot more upside.
Yep, totally agree. So yeah, that's where we're gonna add some more depth to this defensive line. And there he is.
Good pick right there. Cam Jones from Indiana. Juice.
Yeah.
Scruggs.
Mitch would be a star if he went to the Patriots. You know.
The mock draft, the Shayne mock tonight. Also, we had Raymont Harris.
Yeah, not the official one, but Jesus, my guy, Young from Alabama's still there, still sitting there. Are you interested in a tight end at all down here?
Yeah, gotta get one here. Got to get a quarterback and a tight end.
Do we have draft. 2 picks? Yeah, we're second to last pick of the draft here. So this is it. And you guys know me. I did scream about Bears not taking the quarterback last year.
Can't be a hypocrite.
Yeah, and I am with Phil. I would 100% draft this kid where we are, and I know people may not like it, but I particularly do not give a fuck either.
Yeah, all right. That's how you.
There he is. Stetson Bennett.
I would take that. Would be the only place I would go ahead and pick him. Is right there. If it's with either the first one or the second pick in the 7th round.
Yep. So there it is. Pick number 9, Paris Johnson Jr., Jahmyr Gibbs. To me, I feel like I gave you 3 absolute starters on your offense, and then the ultimate jackknife, Swiss Army knife weapon for Justin Fields. Matthew Bergeron, I can slide him inside to guard if I need to. Zach Harrison, I think, is a player that's going to be 100%. I just have sometimes you have a feeling that a guy is going to be a Bear, and that's the way that I feel on Harrison. Zach Pickens is a guy that I like. Stromberg, we had the 2 centers, the kid from Michigan, and Stromberg to pick from. I want Stromberg. Michael Wilson is just preference with me. I'm a big fan. Phil knows that I love Charlie Jones also. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Garrett Williams. He did tear his ACL, so you're going to need some time, but he's a guy that you can stash. I think he's going to pay big dividends for a team in the future. Carl Brooks, high upside defensive tackle, and Stetson Bennett. I have no problem with pulling the trigger on him down here and doing it. But yeah, so somebody asked about the centers at 64. Really at 64, I would have been, John Michael Schmitz was there. He was long gone. I would have pulled the trigger over Bergeron with John Michael Schmitz. But to me, Phil, I guess the wild card for me is, would you pull the trigger with Gibbs at 53? The way that this team is constructed,
I wouldn't. I would have. Yep. I would have looked at defensive tackle or edge there, especially if you hammered Paris Johnson. Again, I'm not going to be upset about it at all, but I just think based on what it is you want to do,
right?
You let David Montgomery go.
So let's look. So 53, I took. So Gibbs, so Adebawore, who we're going to be breaking down here pretty soon, if you're a TTNL patron. So he was off, but you have the edge from USC.
I think this dude, Tiapulo Luto, is very fucking underrated. And he's got a lot of things I like opposite.
Yep. Osiris Torrance is probably was going to be the next guy that I was really debating with Gibbs.
Dude. Yep. Torrance is a day one starter at guard.
Yep.
Now you can work there. Will McDonald, we're going to break him down.
Yep.
Solid edge, great athlete. Oh, you left it. But am I going to be upset if you get a game breaker? I said it was the closest thing to Kamara. I still remember going back and forth with Greg Gabriel about Kamara coming in that draft. He didn't think he was going to be very good.
Mr. Englewood, I drafted I drafted you a center, Stromberg, number 103. And I know you followed.
The D-line.
Now he asked about the center first. And
and then he asked about the D-line, and I drafted you 3 defensive linemen. So I'm not.
I was add to that center, like if it went down this way, you know, they still have Kramer, they still have Lucas Patrick under contract to play center. They have options at center.
Yeah, but the way that I'm looking at it, so if I was running this team, Lucas Patrick, Doug Kramer, even Cody Whitehair are non-factors for me in drafting. They're not affecting me at all. I mean, even as bad as this sounds, Braxton Jones, guys like that, I feel like they have, potentially big-time futures here. They can't dictate what I'm working for in the draft. That's the way that I look at it. But yeah, it's like I said, this isn't a perfect draft, but I think the way that I'm looking at it right now, I think all these players make the team pretty easily, actually.
I like the draft a lot. Obviously, very pointed. I would have gone with Olu instead of Stromberg, Charlie Jones instead of Wilson, and then I would have taken my guy Riley. Oh my God, Moss. Riley Moss instead of Garrett Williams in those 3 spots right there at 103. But I love the Stetson Bennett. I love all the picks.
Yeah, and that's the thing, guys.
If
we draft players, we want them all to be good. It's not if you draft an offensive tackle, we know that you cannot have enough of them. It's not an indictment of Braxton Jones. It's not an indictment of Tevin Jenkins. You need more bodies there. And to me, like I said, overall, like I said, Garrett Williams is probably a guy that you're going to stash. But down there, I mean, Garrett Williams doesn't tear his ACL. And he's a 2nd-round draft pick all fucking day long. And he fits this defense to a T. He's got a lot of Walt Harris in him. 90% of the earth is covered by water. The other 10% is covered by Garrett Williams, just like Walt Harris said.
You like Garrett Williams.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I hated to see. We were right there. And when he went down, I said to Riley, I'm like, that is not good. We were, we have season tickets to Syracuse. When he went down, I hated to see that. Felt real bad for the kid. But
let me tell you, I will say this, it's funny how people see things. And it's fun to do these exercises here. And this is the way Shayne would go with his draft. I know Charlie Jones and Riley Moss are going to shut a lot of people up. I'll just tell you that. Same with this dude from USC.
Yeah,
that would probably be my pick at 53 would be Thule. I would have probably taken him based on this. I love the Bergeron pick at 64.
Yeah, and like I said,
I believe he's gonna fit exactly what Eberflus wants, and that's a day one starter. But do you want this guy or do you want Gibbs? That would be, but I would be fighting for Thule based on that.
I just love I just love the explosive weapon that Gibbs can be. Yeah, it's just, to me, it's next level. I look at him. I know a lot of people don't like the comparison of Kamara, but to me, he's a more explosive Kamara. That would be my comp. It's the ultimate check down chess piece for Justin Fields. I love the thought of him on this offense.
You've seen how McKinnon was so valuable, and I can imagine him obviously spending time with Herbert, and then with Foreman, obviously picking him up as well. But if they were to go get a guy like Gibbs, I can imagine him having that same effect, like a McKinnon to the Chiefs offense, where he's big in the pass game, can game breaker like you'd mentioned before, can fit in the small spaces and then get out of it real quick. It could be a difference maker for the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields, because he's going to be under duress. Like, I'm not saying the offensive line would be perfect, even though I like what you're doing, but they're still going to have to gel together. It'll be the perfect check down, like you said.
And Bergeron can 100%. Bergeron can 100% play inside. Braxton Jones, I don't believe.
Don't worry about inside.
No. I'm just saying that's.
I believe Bergeron is right.
Braxton falls to a
I really believe.
Yeah.
Braxton now is competing with Parrish, your first round pick, for the left tackle spot. I mean, that would be the ideal scenario. I have Broderick number 1 tackle and then Parrish number 2. If you come away with either of those guys at 9, like you did, you're cooking with gas. For me, I would have then came back with defense.
If Paris Johnson, I would have 100% went defense, Phil. I just don't expect Jahmyr Gibbs to fall.
None of those guys under contract, they give a fuck about, right? Like you have 29 going into camp. Doesn't matter that you got 11 under contract, Daniel. I'm just telling you. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just telling you. You also had 7 of the 11 that are probably terrible offensive linemen last year. So you always have to get better. You're never looking at your numbers of under contract and then deciding how you're going to draft. You better draft to improve. Like we said with Raymont Harris here. Yeah. When's the left tackle? Jimbo Covert. That's it. When's the best quarterback? Jim McMahon?
And Angel, that's the thing. Who's the left? They're gonna show me
decide
who's left. Yeah, that's
exactly.
We preach 100%.
Because right now, we don't have a right tackle either. Right. So whoever wins out, you're the left. The other guy is probably fighting for
now. He's competing with, say, Braxton loses. Let's just play this game for you guys. And this is how the Bears should be run as an organization, and I really believe they will be with Kevin Warren. The Bears should go into it understanding that this is going to be the American Idol of fucking offensive line. Get in there and perform and leave it on the field. I don't want to hear excuses. He knows the system. He's out there. Now play the best, coach them up. Paris Johnson comes in there. Now he's your left tackle. Now Braxton the coach has to decide, is Braxton the swing tackle or is he competing for the right tackle? Larry Borum As much as you're casting him aside, and everybody is, he has an opportunity to reinvent himself and decide who he's going to be. You know, you're not banking on Larry Borum, who's under contract, or Lucas Patrick or Whitehair or Tevin. You know, Tevin could be your right tackle, right? Paris Johnson and Tevin Jenkins would be an amazing fucking edges of your offensive line, in my opinion. Paris on the left, Tevin on the right. Now you're competing inside. Now he's got Bergeron. Bergeron could be the swing, the backup, tackle, and anywhere else. So you're cooking with gas. That's how you should do this. And the Bears,
you're not good enough at any spot on the offensive line to be like, no, I can't draft this guy because of this guy. And I know somebody said that it was too early to take a guy like Gibbs. I'm trying to give Justin Fields weapons. And when you say weapon, that's not just wide receiver. That could be a tight end. That could be Jahmyr Gibbs. That could be Bergeron there. Like I said, my first 3 picks are all with Justin Fields in mind.
If you're not a patron, you missed out on my father and I breaking down Tunyon, Walker, DeMarcus Walker, the 3 tech. He's going to be a 3 tech.
Yep.
I believe. And then running back Deonta Foreman on this past Sunday. Last week, we broke down Nate Davis and PJ Walker, the new backup quarterback that the Chicago Bears have. And we haven't really talked much about PJ Walker. And I really think it's one of these sneaky signings. My dad was very excited watching his tape. Here's a journeyman. Again, I know Shayne, he's 5'11", same height as Bryce Young. And he really has what a tremendous arm.
That's taller.
Anticipation.
5'10" and an 8, Bryce.
I think he was 5'10".
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If we said
Warren Foster.
Yeah. Who was we didn't take him because who did we take? I'd have to go back and look. I don't know if he's trying to
You took Gibbs.
No, he's talking about
4 days ago when we were
on the other draft, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was under the
but that's Lauren's opinion on him. And PFF after our show
locked up
their draft coverage. Listen, that's what I love about the draft, and I've watched it, and I wasn't blowing smoke. I was texting with Raymont Harris. He had such a good time here. Great guest here. Former Chicago Bear, came on and kept it 100. Follow him on Instagram. Also, listen, smash the like button and subscribe to our channel. I want to get those numbers up. I don't ask you guys to do that enough. There's several thousands of you that view this show each and every week and don't subscribe. We could see the statistics of it. So I'm going out of my way and asking you, just press the subscribe button. Do us the favor. If you're already subscribed, hit the like button and let everybody else know what this network is. Almost 365 days a year covering the Chicago Bears like nobody else.
Chris makes a point, and this is my point about these mock draft simulators. On these simulators, he's saying that Darnell Wright usually goes in the 30s. And
come draft night, he might go 12.
But that's the thing. Listen, as we sit here right now, Phil, we're talking about Paris Johnson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
If he's on the board at number 9 and Broderick Jones is there on the board, I'm pretty positive that the Bears aren't going to take Paris, that they would take Broderick Jones over him. That's the way that I feel.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, I would honestly say, remember the original one?
I wouldn't draft Skoronski. I know locally I would not draft Skoronski over either one of those guys. That's me. I couldn't draft Skoronski over Paris Johnson or Broderick Jones. I don't. Phil, are you?
I think.
Is it because of that? Is it because of the measurements?
No, it's not. it's
there hasn't been an offensive lineman with that kind of arm length ever play tackle.
He would be an absolute complete outlier. Absolutely. So I shouldn't say no. Yeah, that is a part of it. I'm higher on. I have Paris Johnson 1, and I have Broderick Jones. I'd do the fill. He'd be right there. Broderick Jones is so athletic to me. He's not as big and tall. I don't know. He might be just as tall, but I see a lot of Lane Johnson. You're putting an athletic freak out there. And I mean, Lane Johnson just got a 1-year, $33 million fully guaranteed extension.
Brad Biggs mocked him because he watches our show and is a patron. Sign up to become a patron yourself. We're going to be breaking down Broderick Jones, Paris Johnson, Wright, and Foskey. How do we say his name?
Yeah. Listen,
Skronsky. I believe Darnell Wright later on is going to be one of the top.
I think he's going to go higher than people think.
Me too.
It's a lot higher.
And that's what I'm going to say here. Like the first mock you had when you traded down and took Van Ness, my opinion would be Van Ness or Wright there.
I know a lot of people aren't with me on Van Ness. I think he's a year away. But he's at 275 right now. I see this kid getting up to 290, maybe even 300 pounds. And I think he's going to be a destroyer of lives in the NFL for a long time. I really do.
Adrian would have a heart attack if they go Skronsky. So would I. I'm not in the business of drafting guards in the top 10. Just not. I believe he's going to be a good offensive lineman at guard.
Skronsky got walked back by Van Ness in one of those. Absolutely mollywopped.
I prefer Wright over him, but we'll look at the tape of this stuff so you can see it. I know the local story and the hype surrounding it. There's no question Skronsky's a good football player. It's the same thing I talk about with JSN with a lot of these people. It's like talent, immense talent, but not 9th overall, not on the Bears, not with the needs that you have. And any of these guys telling you, oh, they don't draft for need. Yeah, they do. Like you're looking at your board kind of biased towards the fact that you need to fill some of these holes on this roster. We're lucky that this is a deep corner draft.
Oh yeah,
it's a deep offensive tackle draft.
As good as these corners are up top, I think he will get.
If you got Riley Moss at
but I'm saying if they go corner at 9, I think Poles will be vilified.
I will kill him myself.
I would be pissed.
I would be pissed if
I told Ryan Cox that today because who was it? Somebody did a
Gonzalez.
mock.
Other than Gonzalez,
I can't swing.
Oh, I mean, if I was taking a corner, he's my CB1. Somebody had the Bears taking Witherspoon at 9, or somebody guaranteed that he was going to be a top 10 pick. Maybe that's what it was. I am not in that. I can't. Not the way that this draft is made up. I mean, cornerback is literally one of the deepest positions. Like I said, I feel like Garrett Williams 100%. is going to be a guy that's going to be starting as soon as he's healthy.
Let me tell you something.
Easily.
As much hype as the Illinois kid has, the Michigan kid Turner is better.
DJ.
Oh my God. It's just one. I know he's a little lighter, but he's aggressive. Oh, but anyway, there's a lot of. If Riley Moss, again, I know we had the person saying, well, white corners don't. Let's watch tape of this stuff and see the guy. That I just talked about him. I just said I prefer him over the kid from Illinois, DJ Turner. But Riley Moss to me is somebody that is going to be a starter in this league and will be an outlier. in regards to that. I just don't do shit like that.
Skoronski's arms aren't even like Slater's, I believe, were 33. He's under that.
He's half an inch under that.
Yeah, he was like
2.5.
Yeah, and I mean,
he's a good football player.
He is, but
I just don't. I don't think he's going to play tackle.
Like Adam Hogue got pretty defensive about people calling him an offensive guard, and I mean, like I said, he's a complete outlier at the position. You're drafting him. Oof.
He has the ability. He has that flexibility where he could play. He's played tackle. He can play guard. I think that's a positive, but I can see your point where he doesn't fit that prototype. He doesn't look like
he played
even
center
Braxton
in
Jones.
high school.
He doesn't even look like Braxton Jones, lengthwise and such. So there you go. He played center in high school.
He did. I think he was like number 4 or 5 center in the country.
I can't take him over.
But he ain't no Slater. I'll tell you that.
No,
watching the fucking.
No.
I had Slater number 1.
Yeah, and he's not. Paris Johnson. I mean, if you're building an offensive lineman from scrap, he might come out of the machine shop looking like Paris Johnson. He might. You know what I mean? He's just
even the big man they got. The other kid from Ohio. Jones.
Oh yeah. He's
374 at right tackle. I mean, that kid can ball if he's in shape. That kid fucking.
Yeah, Olin's a center though. Olin's not a tackle. That's what we're Olin's.
What is
if you're looking at like
he was
bottom
saying
half,
Olin has shorter arms than Skoronski, and he's at center. That's what he was saying.
Like for tackles, like if you're looking at like the lowest, I think I was looking at a chart earlier. The lowest I've seen was like a Joe Thomas. He had like 33-inch. That's probably.
I don't normally go crazy over arms length, Ivan. I really don't. But when I watch his tape and he's getting pushed around a little bit too much, now the short arms
become a problem.
They become a problem because the length helps deter speed to power when you're rushing the quarterback. So if you it's just like a jab in football. Right. I mean, boxing. If you're able to get that length, now you're slowing up the pass rusher and you've given yourself an advantage. If you're say you have shorter arms like Joe Thomas. What Joe Thomas had was a fucking giant pair of thighs and ass. Yeah. And got low and was able to use that power in there and he was much more athletic than Skoronski.
Yeah. I guess this is Mike's pretty adamant that he's a tackle. Mike, I would ask you, who is your top offensive tackle available in this draft? I just don't.
We needed that. We've been waiting for the Mike Hall segment, Shayne.
Oh, the deep thoughts with Mike Hall?
Deep thoughts with Mike Hall. We could start off with this.
You draft an offensive lineman with T-Rex arms. His name might be Peter Skoronski.
Broderick Jones to me is the number 1 tackle in my book.
Yep.
I put him number 1. Athletic, powerful, finishes things. He can move. Good size, strength at the point of attack. I could tell that he loves the game of football. He's
Ohio
done
State's
it.
Down 5 with 1:49 left. Sorry, Raymont.
Mike Haw, deep thoughts with my best tackle prospect since Joe Thomas, he says.
Yeah, I'm not talking about next year. I'm talking who's your
I wasn't even comparing the two either.
Yeah, who's your offensive tackle 1 this? Yeah.
I thought he was talking about Skoronski. My bad. I don't know. If you're getting knocked back too much for my taste, then you're getting Braxton Jones again. A shorter arm. Braxton has long ass arms, right?
Yeah, he does.
But listen, we'll watch the tape of him. There's a lot of things you like about him. I would personally be disappointed if Paris was there or Broderick, and they drafted Skronsky. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah,
Manute Bol punched the shit out of the fridge. I actually remember that shit now that he brought that up. Whatever, man. It's gonna be a fun off season. There's a lot of football player. I mean, the kid from Oklahoma, Wanye Morris is a guy that I like.
Yeah, the Bears
have they?
Yeah, the Bears have talked to him. Yeah.
I like that football player. He's a guy, third round. I believe he's got a lot to offer. You saw the kid freak out at the combine, and Blake Freeland, from BYU, and show these immense athletic. When you're looking at the Chicago Bears, how do they assess the RAS scores? If that's what it is, I mean, Freeland has to be somebody they've earmarked based on that. Just to keep you guys updated, as Old Hawk, 1985 Monday show. Let's go. I'm so excited to watch this team be competitive this year after the past couple years. Fields needs to ball out and not just run the ball. I get it. That's what we were talking about with Raymont Harris to start this show. The special Keepin' It 100 on a Monday night interview with the great Raymont Harris. We also had Shayne's mock draft tonight. Talking a little draft with you. Before we go to shout-outs and wrap this up, Shayne, do you see before the draft any possibility of Ngakoue, another offensive lineman signed, anything?
I think it's going to be interesting. You see some whispers about Lamar Jackson potentially being connected to the Colts. See how that goes. They bring in a guy like him and try to include essentially a poison pill so Baltimore doesn't match. Are they going to try to clear some salary? Are they going to take Buckner and make him available to a team? And that's why the Bears haven't made some moves. They're going to be very active in the market of when teams have to, clear some space. And you see moves like that being made. And that's going to go. I didn't understand, and we should report this. For you to meet the cash floor, you're not required to meet that cash floor until day one of the 2024 new league year. So that's a year away.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I didn't know that, but PFF Brad updated that and said that so you don't have to, the Bears are under no, they're not under the gun.
Do that by season start, kickoff.
Nope.
I thought it was that.
I think that there's going to be plenty of moves. You always see these teams, especially after the draft. They, a guy falls to them they didn't expect. They want to save some money. They may move off of a guy, and you have the Bears sitting there with all that extra ammo financially. And I think that they're going to be active in there. I just don't think under the way that Colts team is made up, I wouldn't sleep 100% on DeForest Buckner being a Colt in 2023. And I think if he's available, I think Ryan Poles will be lead the charge with Matt Eberflus up front.
Hey, there you go. Yep, I like it.
Listen, as much as you hate to say it, Phil and I have put our thoughts out there on Jalen Carter. If the Bears are confident that they can bring in a guy like a DeForest Buckner to act as a mentor to Jalen Carter, those are the types of things. Those are the types of talks that are going on behind closed doors. It would scare the hell out of me because I think that that's a massive gamble. Talent-wise, it's not a gamble. Everything else, it's a massive red flag to me. But we have a 1,000-piece puzzle, and we have like 7 pieces in the puzzle put together. We just
we're very economical, my family.
Yes, we are.
Buckner's 29 or 30, I believe.
I love Buckner.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't look at him in that position at that age. He can give you 2-3 years easy of top of the line play.
3 years. He'd be a great. I mean, that's a great point, especially with the professionalism, getting a kind of mentor to help guide this young player. But I'll be honest, right now.
I'm there with
I
you.
wouldn't even touch him.
No,
I'm not even tempted.
Yeah, no, I'm just putting it out there because listen, these guys know a lot more of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. Obviously, he's going to be part of the Bears 30 visit. So he's going to be at Hallis Hall. They're going to sit down with him. And I'm right there with you. If I have any questions about motivation, if that's even a thought in my head, I can't pull the trigger there. To me, it's way too risky. I want to know that you love it. I want to know that you can't live without it. I don't want to question that. This isn't a 6th-round draft pick where you're like, all right, it's worth the gamble. Upside is immense, but the fucking downside is you going head first into a volcano.
Up has a good point. This is something that a lot of people pointed out in that last game against Ohio. Well, that game against Ohio State, he was relatively quiet. It looked like he was off the field a lot of times, and then when he was on the field again, there was no action. So I mean, it's a like Shayne said, it's a crapshoot with Jalen Carter. Not saying that he doesn't have the talent, but like you said, personality wise, and does he love the game? I think that's a big must for the Bears.
You don't want to draft a kid in the top 10, and for love of the game is a question.
Yeah.
Like I said, when his on switch is on, it's fun to see. But man, there's a lot of red flags there, and I know
I think it goes back to honestly, at the end of the day, just think about yourself, and it goes down.
I don't think he's going to get by. I don't think he's going to get by 5 anyway. So let's just put that out there. I think that's
I've seen
Seattle
these
Seahawks
players.
Move all day.
Teams roll the dice on some of these players that have immense talent and don't care. They just want the money or the spotlight for a minute, and they flame out. You're the Chicago Bears now trying to build something special, build a new stadium. Are you in it to try to take a swing at a possibility, or are you going to understand the importance of building the offensive line and bettering your quarterback? To me, it's a no-brainer to pass on Jalen Carter for Paris Johnson, Broderick, Jones, even Wright, Darnell Wright. I really believe in that kid too. Both Oklahoma tackles. You got to build this line and let us see the real Justin Fields. The Slim Shady, please stand up. 3 technique is important, but protecting Justin Fields is the priority. And I think that's how they have to handle the 9. They did not go out and do what I'd hoped they'd do and get a Nate Davis and Orlando Brown Jr. And then I'm kind of open at 9. But because they didn't do that, I feel like you have a need and you're at the top. Even the kid, I don't know. Some people are putting him at center or guard. Mock. Cody Mock to me is a tackle first. I just hate when they do that. Mock can play tackle to me. I just love his personality. That's the 180 to Jalen Carter, right? Jalen Carter, Mock. Oh. You want the 2 differences? Like, there's no question on how much Mock loves it. He's another guy. And Osiris Torrance. If you're going to go guard, Jesus, get me in there.
I just think just putting a bow. I know we said we were going to have like an hour show tonight, and here we are 3 hours later. This is Ryan Pohl's first foray with a first-round draft pick. And don't forget about that part of it. Are you going to take the ultimate gamble? It may pay off, but to me, there's a bigger percentage that it's not ever going to live up to the hype if you go with a guy at Jalen Carter. And I mean, that's true for any player. I just think there's more red flags there than I'm comfortable with.
I'm with you 100%. Listen, if you're just tuning in, this is a special edition of Keepin' It 100 on a Monday night with Raymont Harris. If you missed the interview like Chris Jackal did, you want to go back, check that out. And Claudio, I'm sure Claudio's probably watching now as he's driving to the flea market. Ivan hit the post right at the top of the show. And listen, we'll be live Wednesday night if you're a patron, breaking down Isaiah Foskey and Will McDonald of Iowa State. We also might have some Van Ness tape, correct?
Yeah, and just real quick, I
sent both.
Van Ness. We got Van Ness and the kid from Northwestern. It'll be a 4 show.
Yeah, just a quick update. We scheduled the Cars Keys for Thursday night. As of right now, it's still there, but that may be changing. That may get pushed a little bit. We're dealing with some stuff for that show that we may push it potentially until next week, but we'll figure out a time. But we'll keep you updated exactly what's going on with that.
Shout out, tape never lies. Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you see me, baby. Shout out, we gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew, gotta show love too. Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you see me, baby. Shout out, we gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew, gotta show love too. From the fans in the stands to the follows on the gram. Thanks for your support, showing love in the DM. We stay Spencer strong, fight together till the end. Now it's time to shout out worldwide friends and fam. Like
the network that keeps it real, 100 crew. So many in the world that I gotta show love to. For some this policy, the show is at its end, but for me it's so important to thank the charter members and the fans. Built the network, speak the truth through the tape. Never run around the truth, no narratives we create. Set them straight, no bubble screen on 4th and 8. Claudio Shayne getting nervous cause keeping them up too late. That's it, no more to say that get the shot of vital. But hurry up cause the postman's getting homicidal. Spencer Strong.
There it is. Shout outs. Spencer Strong. Shout outs. Ivan Vargas, the moderator tonight. Head over to thetapeneverlies.com. Become a patron. I don't know what the fuck you're waiting for. It's been so long for you to get over there. Get subscribed like Bill is telling you. The amount of time we're putting in to breaking this stuff down. And I put it out there this week because I take a lot of pride in the fact that we're the OG of doing this to just destroy narratives. I was tired of the bullshit. Shayne says, well, just put it out there. Stop. So we put it out there. Now we got a guy like Ivan with us, helping us cut up the tape, breaking it down here. Ivan Vargas, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, just real quick. Shout out Claudio. Shout out you guys. Shout out everybody in the chat. Raymont Harris, couldn't have loved that interview enough. Like, it was great interview. Shout out to him. Alan for going ahead and bringing him in. Pretty much everybody here at TTNL. Shout out to you guys for all the hard work and everything. Great show, man. I know it's a weird night, but it was an awesome show nonetheless. So great stuff.
Absolutely great stuff. How about you, Shayne?
Yeah, real quick. You know, we preach vulnerability. We preach family first here. You know, no matter what happens, if we don't have our family, we don't have anything, and that includes, you know, TTNL family and our families at home. So I just want to shout out my guy Cars, and I know I speak for everybody here. Ivan, Phil, everybody behind the scenes, Cherie, Bratcher, Cool Kennedy, Ron G, Caden Whitlow, everybody, Claudio. Thinking of you, Cars. We love you. You're a big part of what we do. You're a big part of where we're going, and we just want you to know that you know, we're always here when you need us, and we're reaching out and just loving you and hugging you, and pray for better days here. Like I said, things can get tough here. You know, the older that we get means that everybody else in our family gets older, and when our parents get older, you know, Phil's put up with it with his mom and his dad. I know Ivan, all of us had kids that are sick and parents that are sick. It's never an easy time. So, you know, talk about OGs. Cars is an OG. Phil and I have been with Cars since like 95, talking Bears. So just wanted him to know that we're here. Yeah, we're here for him, love him, and need anything at all, you know where to find us. And I know that includes everybody listening, because Cars has a lot of people that love him in the comments, even though he doesn't want to believe it. He's a big part of what we do, and we love you, bro.
Very well said, man. I want to shout out Cars and send positive energy Cars' way. I always say that. Big believer in that, the power of prayer, no matter what you believe in. Just send some positive energy towards the Carstensen family and our friend Matt Carstensen. Such a good dude, and so appreciate the work that you do here. Shout out to you, Ivan, Vargas, all the help that you do in the background means a lot to me, because Shayne don't do shit. Like Jackal gonna cut in the tape and all that. Yeah. So the help that you give,
I'm a clown.
I kid. I really appreciate you, Ivan. Ron G and Caden Whitlow and Shayne Marsaw, just a tremendous friend and person. This network, we say, like Raymont said, what the Bears say, well, your family, and then go by the wayside. I am seriously showing compassion towards everybody in the chat and love for everybody, even the haters. I take a lot of pride in the work that we do here. I don't like the people that imitate and create narratives and talk shit. Come on the show and let's talk ball in front of everybody. Like, don't talk shit. Come on the show and do it. I really appreciate that. Sending much love to Cherie as well. Send some positive energy towards her. She will be back. Trust me. I spoke to her tonight.
She's like the Terminator. She ain't going anywhere. She'll be back.
Yes, she'll be back. Send some positive energy towards Adeptus Serpentis, his wife. Absolutely. I hope everything goes well for you, man. I know you're in the chat every week, being a smart ass sometimes, and then giving some great info. I love you. I hope all goes well and all positive your way, my man. Everybody that's going through, I just want to say this to you fans. I'm looking straight at you. Smash the like button. Know that this network, whether we agree, disagree, or break balls, at the end of the day, it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, and a family. I take a lot of pride in what is said on the network, to the extent where I go after my own guys, like Alan Bratcher, when he was talking like Khalil Herbert's better than David Montgomery. I know he walked it back and then he went around and tried to do a parade and then he disappeared forever. So I'm waiting for you to come back, Alan. I missed you, buddy. I know Bingo has your ear and your eyes right now. Hopefully you win a lot of money and come back. In all seriousness, I appreciate Bratcher and the debates and the passion to get this team to where it's going to be. So I beg you, if you love this stuff the way I have my whole life, sign up, become a patron. We're almost at that 800 mark, and I would love for that to be a celebration this offseason.
It will be, but we're almost at the first of the month when 70 people without fail forget to update their forms of credit card on file.
Next week.
Fucking
I don't
idiots.
even know who. Do we have anybody on the show next week?
I don't know.
I don't know what our calendar is. Jackal didn't show up.
Claudio said we're off next week. This is great.
Well, I'm certain we will have somebody. If not, we'll be talking a bunch about the Chicago Bears. I'm going to reveal Jim Larison's TV show list next week, Shayne. And I've never seen anything like this, Ivan. Just going to tease it right now before we end the show. I have seen it,
yeah.
Jim Larison. I'm talking about shows and stuff like that with Chris, Dorich, and Shayne, and Jim. And I'm saying I got to rank these shows and all this stuff. So I just watched that new Netflix show, the Night Action, or whatever it is. It's pretty good on Netflix, right? But Jim Larison sends me his list of top shows. So I'm thinking like 100 would be a lot for Jim. No, 1,481 shows ranked. Thank you, Chris. Night Agent.
Well, when you travel like he does, you got to watch a lot. I mean, we were trying to lock in a time for a meeting with Jim, and he's like, well, guys, over the next 25 days, I'm going to be in 13 different countries and 15 different states. So boys on the move all the time.
Dude, when I opened up this document and I'm thinking 100 and I scrolled down the
Phil sent it to me and I thought you were joking at first. I'm like, God damn. It was like 14 flicks of the wrist to get to the bottom of the list.
I gave it to Steph. I just gave it. Look at this. I go, this is Jim. So we're going to post this on our Patreon this week.
We're going to run it for our credits at the end of a show. It's going to be its own show. It's going to be credits. 1,400 shows. You know, the Star Wars script going up.
1,481 shows he's ranked. It's a lot of fun, and it'll be definitely. We're going to reveal
800 of them are Survivor. 800 of them are the first 80 seasons of Survivor.
Dude, he did his best. There's some talking disagreements that I'm going to have. Maybe we can get Larison on. And it definitely will be in June in that area where we can focus a lot on his list. But I want to reveal it before the draft, have some fun, and check out Night Agent. There's also this movie, Korean movie. Check it out, The Call. Just letting you know. The Call was definitely a twist, craziness. I think people will enjoy The Call on Netflix. That's all I have for tonight. Become a patron. Wow. We'll see you live Wednesday night. Do you have something else?
Are we gonna close it out the right way? We finally have some breaking news for us.
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, get up.